a championship. Some of the players that we saw come last year, including Jacob Mizorowski and Andrew Vaughn, seeing them develop. And we're seeing that in some of our business side as well. So people are coming on board as season ticket members. They start at just 6 games, and we also have 20 game packs and full seasons. It's really popular. We're at about 4 times where we were at this time last year. So there is such an excitement to have baseball back and to give the World Series another run next year.
I think it's important what you just mentioned there too, because when you hear season tickets, I think you think, oh, I have to buy tickets for every single game, and there's no way I could make it out to all of those. So I like that you have smaller packages available as well. I know we're talking spring training, but what do we need to know about grabbing our tickets for the season next year?
Yeah, I mean, we went on sale about a month ago. We've got some terrific seats, and there's, like you said, there's a package for every fan. It starts at just 6 games. We have flex plans, so you can pick the games that are best for you. And then if you're looking for more of an all-in type of membership experience that includes access to some of our players, exclusive events, those are what we call kind of season tickets. They start at just 20 games. And yeah, they're again going really quickly. It's exciting. I mean, we're just so appreciative of the response that our fan base has for the Brewers on the field and the excitement surrounding the 2026 season. So lots of chances to come on board for next year.
Yeah, and of course, the 2026 season will start with these spring training games, which I think is the best opportunity to take that vacation, get out of the winter here in Wisconsin, go to Phoenix, bring the family. And maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like when I see spring training games, there's so many opportunities for like the kids to get more involved, to meet some of the players. Tell me more about those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a 7,000 seat stadium. So, I mean, when you go down there, you see a ton of families. And if you get there early, the players are always signing autographs, taking pictures. You just see that just so regularly. And there's actually some pathways from the locker rooms down to the field that go right past the fans. So it's just a chance to get close to the players, get really good access. And for families, for kids especially, I can just speak to like when I was growing up. I mean, just such a thrill to meet some of your heroes. So one of those great opportunities to catch the game that we love and to get really up close and personal with the players.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like those moments, even if they're just a couple minutes when you're with your heroes or meeting your favorite player, they last a lifetime. Like I still think about getting to meet some of my favorite players, and they're cherished memories. I'm curious if anybody right now is watching thinking, hey, maybe I'll go to Phoenix, make this trip. Any other things that you would recommend they do while they're down there?
Dress for warm weather. So bring your shorts and bathing suit if you're going to have a pool close by. Generally, I mean, it's terrific weather down there for each and every game, but super simple to pick up your tickets. The field itself is very accessible. There's plenty of parking around there, so it's super easy to take in spring training baseball. And of course, if you can't make it down to Phoenix, we actually have two spring training games here in Milwaukee next year on March the 23rd and 24th. So there's a chance to see the prospects and see the team as it forms for next year before the season starts as well. So lots of opportunity to catch spring training.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to me a little about the group spaces that I know are also available if you're bringing all your friends with you.
Absolutely. So just like we have here at American Family Field in Milwaukee, there are so many opportunities to bring your groups down and enjoy spring training together. Groups start at just 10 people. So anywhere from 10, you can bring a group up over 1,000. If you have a lot of friends or you want to bring your company down to enjoy baseball, we've got all-inclusive spaces that make it really easy to have food and beverage included as well for you and your guests. So again, they start at just 10 people. And a lot of information is again on our brewers.com/spring training website as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go and check that out. Mike, before I let you go, do you have a favorite spring training memory that you'll share with us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk?
Oh boy. I mean, I have so many. I mean, when I was really little, I was actually at a spring training game and a player gave me a bat. So I'm dating myself, but the player actually was for an away team. They were with Boston. And so he gave me one of his broken bats, and I cherished that broken bat forever. And I'm telling you, it's because I went early and I wanted to catch baseballs as a kid. But here was an opportunity to interact with a player at the time, and I still have the bat, and I'm a lot older now. So one of those just unique things that I didn't expect at the time, but it contributed to me being a fan of baseball throughout my entire life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, those little memories, they will last with you for years and years. And that's why you got to go out to spring training if you have the opportunity. Mike, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. Again, those tickets went on sale as of today, so we'll try and get that information up for you if it's not already on Fox Local. But you can go and snag those today, maybe get one of those group spaces while you're at it, because I want to picture myself in Phoenix right now instead of here in Milwaukee. Taking a look live right here at Mitchell International Airport where, yeah, it's just not pretty out there. It's just, I mean, doomy and gloomy and a little wet. I know it was raining on my morning commute today, which I was grateful that it was rain and not snow, because it is kind of still warm out there. 49 degrees here at 12:39. Of course, if it was colder, it would be snow. So appreciative, but we are expecting that to change to snow tomorrow. It's going to get really cold here in Wisconsin. So if you're staying here, make sure you have your winter coat out, ready to be utilized these next couple of days. If you are hitting the road, I would say if you can leave today, do it instead, or maybe leave Thursday. We're trying to avoid Wednesday if possible because it's going to be a little bit of a messy commute. And if you have to hit the road tomorrow, just take your time. Take it slow. Bring lots of patience. Be nice on the roads to each other. Of course, I don't think that we are really expecting any sort of delays weather-wise if you're taking to the skies, but they are expecting a lot of travelers, even at Mitchell International Airport. We're actually going to have kind of a live report for you later on the Wisconsin Live Desk, talking all things Thanksgiving holiday travel. So if you have any questions, kind of how to make that the smoothest process possible, you're going to want to catch that report. That is coming up later on in the 2 o'clock hour. Otherwise here, we're wanting to think all things Christmas. Let's take a live look here in New York. Of course, this is the tree that is right outside the kind of Fox headquarters there in NYC. I always love looking at it all lit up there. They've got a pretty tree topper that's a dove, but so many Christmas lights in the background, and even the Rockettes perform just to the side there. So lots of things to do in New York Christmas time, but you don't have to go to New York to see Christmas lights. So we are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and when we come back, we're talking country Christmas. They've got so many different ways to enjoy the lights this week. They're going to break it all down for us right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Stick with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is Haley with you this Tuesday afternoon. Time check for you. It is 12:43. Let's take another live look outside here in Milwaukee on this Tuesday, which I was saying that it's really kind of gloomy out, which is usually not the best thing, but it is a holiday week. So this Tuesday is probably some people's Fridays or Thursdays. So that's the positive side of today, even if the weather isn't quite cooperating. Again, at least it's warmer temperatures. We're looking there at 49 degrees. And speaking of the holidays, we do have Thanksgiving this week. But I always argue that Thanksgiving is a holiday within the Christmas season. I am one of those crazy people who starts decorating for Christmas as close as I can to November 1st because I love Christmas and I love Christmas lights. And we're actually being joined right now with Kiara from Country Christmas. Kiara, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so for starters, for any of our viewers who have not been able to make it out before, tell us all about Country Christmas.
Yeah, so this is actually our 30th year, which is pretty exciting for us. We are normally a drive-through light show. We do have some special events leading up to the drive-through. Tonight we have our Bike and Lights event, where guests can bring their bikes, drive through the mile-long trail. And then we have some couple buildings and more displays at the end of the trail for guests to enjoy. And then tomorrow night we have walkthrough, so you can walk through the trail. Cool thing about the illuminated walking nights is that $2 goes back to Christmas Clearing Council of Waukesha County to help local families in need. So that's always a great thing to go and support, and you can start off the festive season in such a fun and lively note.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have to ask, where are you right now? Because this is also decorated beautifully.
Yes, I am standing in our Christmas village, so you can see part of our Rocking Raccoon band behind me. But we also have a model train display. We have the Country Christmas Post Office where you can send a letter to Santa. And we also have our Furry Friend Factory where you can build a little stuffed friend to take home with you.
Oh, so fun. Okay, so I know tonight we can bike through the trail. I know other days, as you mentioned, you can walk through or drive through. There's even wagon rides. Do you have a favorite way that you like to experience the lights?
I am partial to illuminated walking nights. Like I said, we have our last one of the year tomorrow night. I think it's just a great way you can take your time, go through the trail, look at all the little animatronics that we have, all the new displays. I think it's just a great way to experience Country Christmas. But I also enjoy the classic drive-through and wagon ride experience as well.
I was gonna say, I feel like they all have, pros to them. I think with walking the trail, you can always really taking your time and paying attention to the details. In the car, though, you're warm. So I understand. There's so many different ways to enjoy it. Do you have a favorite light display that's out there?
Oh, we have some new ones this year that I'm really excited to go back and take another look at. We have some new dinosaur displays, some minions, and I always love Bearville. I always go back to Bearville and look at all the little details in there.
Yeah, and of course, I should also mention that if you're going through in a car, I know you can fit as many people as you want in there and then go through the lights, right? I mean, safely. They need to be buckled.
Safely, yes. We have carload admission, and we do offer a few other vehicle type admission passes as well if you do need some more space.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just currently on your website and I'm looking through some of the different events that are coming up, and I saw one that caught my eye. Can you tell us about Haws Nights?
Haws Nights, yeah, that's a partnership that's been going on for a while. So those nights, the Haws Adoption Mobile Unit will be on site with some of their adoptable pets, and then $5 of each carload goes back to Haws.
I love that, and I feel like I should plug, since I'm on the website, there are FOX6 nights, that's December 2nd and December 9th, where you can get $6 off your regular admission, which I'm so excited. We love saving money here, Kiara.
Yes.
Do you know how many lights are in the display by chance?
In the entire trail, the millions, it's hard to count, yes.
Okay, so then how long does it take to set up? I would imagine that that's a labor of love a little bit.
We are thinking about Christmas year-round here at the Ingleside Hotel, but setup normally starts around September or October.
Wow. Okay, so this is months in the making. You've got several different ways that we can enjoy it, including riding your bike tonight. Have you guys done this before where you ride your bike?
This is our second year, so we're excited to bring it back this year. And like I said, it's just a unique way to experience the trail and see all the Christmas lights.
Yeah, I feel like there's such a biking community here in Milwaukee that I'm sure they're going to make their way out to you today to be able to ride through the lights that way. Awesome. Okay, I feel like we know everything we need to know about Country Christmas, but is there anything else that you wanted to mention while we have you?
I mean, all the information on all the special nights and events that we have can be found at thecountrychristmas.com. So I would definitely go and check that out.
All right, we will do just the thing. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you.
Of course. It's so fun to hear about Christmas lights. I truly call them, I know I've mentioned it before here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, but I call Christmas lights an easy joy for me. Or if I'm just around them, I feel that smile on my face. I feel calmer. I just feel so happy. I love Christmas lights. I am one of those people that would go and bike through them and then walk through them and then drive through them. I would go multiple times to get all the different kinds of experiences there because it is the season, and Christmas lights, they're not around forever. So I got to enjoy them while they're up and while they're out and while it's 49 degrees. That's the time to go because pretty soon it's going to be way colder here in Milwaukee. All right, we're going to take another quick break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. And then coming up, speaking of Christmas, we're going to talk Christmas trees, because I know in the past few years we've really seen supply be down. So if you're that team real Christmas tree, it's been harder to find a tree or even find one that's kind of a reasonable price. So our very own Lisa Michael is at a local tree farm, and she's got all the details we need to know coming up in just 2 minutes here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Desk.
Hey you guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Tuesday afternoon. Time check for you. It is now 12:52, and I want to take us back out to New York to take a look at this gorgeous Christmas tree right outside the Fox headquarters. I was just looking up. It is 50 feet tall. It has more than 20,000 ornaments, more than 300,000 lights, and that topper that you see at the very top of the Christmas tree, that makes sense, 6 feet tall. That dove is 6 feet tall, which is crazy when you think about how small it looks in this image. Obviously, though, this tree, I was going to say it's fake, but you know what? I wonder if it's real. That's my next question that I'm going to look up during the next commercial break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. But that is the perfect segue to bring in our very own Lisa Michaels in Mequon, I believe, at a tree farm out there. So, Lisa, big question. Are you team real Christmas tree or team fake Christmas tree?
You know, hey, that's a good question. I'm definitely team fake Christmas tree in terms of what I own, but if I could, I would be team real all the way because nothing smells better than a fresh Christmas tree, right?
Oh, completely agree. There is something magical about feeling a real tree, smelling a real tree, and you're surrounded by a whole lot of them.
Oh, I'm in the best location right now. We are at Trees for Less Nursery, and you're right, it is in Mequon. It is right off the intersection of Wasaki and Mequon Road. And the trees here, I guarantee you, the second you come in here, you're going to see one that you want to take home, because I've already seen a few that I want to take home. I'm bringing in the owner, Sam O'Malley, and he is going to talk to us a little bit about Christmas trees, as well as their event coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you don't have something this holiday weekend to do with the kiddos, they have loads of activities here. So Sam, I wanted to thank you first and foremost for joining us today. A little bit warmer out here, you know, I have the winter coat on, but I think a lot of people will be bundled up by the weekend. We have the cold coming, we have the snow coming. Are you ready for it?
Ready for it. Yeah, 100%.
So we have a lot of trees here, and I will admit I've never been to an actual tree farm, but I see loads of carts every year putting trees on top of their roof racks, driving them down the road and taking them home with families. And tell us a little bit about the trees here. Do you guys grow them? And are there different trees? Are they the same trees? What do you guys offer?
Yeah, a little bit of both. We do grow some of them. We do have a cut your own. These are all our pre-cuts that we bring in from central Wisconsin. 3 different varieties essentially. There's the Fraser firs, and then there's the balsam fir and the Canaan fir. Basically all really good Christmas trees, but all their own little unique things up to them too.
And what would make someone want to choose one over the other? You've talked a little bit about different characteristics, but what does it mean to have different characteristics for the Christmas tree?
Sure. So like some have stronger branch structure for heavier ornaments. Some have a amazing fragrance to them, but they all hold their needles really well. And so they're all real good. They just all have their own little pluses and minuses.
And what is the process of coming in here, picking out the tree that you feel is right for you, and then getting it home? How do you guys help with the process?
Yeah, so we're just kind of a one-stop shop. We have like little characteristic boards. We explain to the customers as best we can. But when they do pick out the tree, I have a small army of kids with Santa hats on, and they will come, they'll grab the tree for you. They will give it a fresh cut to promote the tree to start drinking water again. And then they will net it and tie it down on the roof of the car.
Perfect. So you don't really have to do any heavy lifting here. It's
Nothing.
just the one that calls you is the one you're going to get.
Yep.
It smells so heavenly out here, and I think what's going to make it more magical is the snow this weekend. But speaking of this weekend, we're talking about your big event coming up. What does this event entail for people who maybe want to come down here, not only to pick out a tree, but do some fun activities?
Yeah, very exciting. We're not just a boring tree lot. It's all about like the farm experience as a whole. And this year, for the first time, we are going to have live reindeer.
So excited.
On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during the middle of the day. It's all the details are all on our website and the social media and whatnot. But basically middle of the day, I think it's 12 to 3, 11 to 2, and then 12 to 3. That's when the reindeer will be flying in. Santa's here on all the same days as well. The Santa, the hayride through the woods, it's all included with purchase of a tree, so it's a really fun place.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And you have a big fire in the middle here, so people can obviously stay warm despite the fact that the cold temperatures are coming in. And something you noted to me is we even have a station behind this row of trees here where people can roast their own s'mores.
Yeah, another new fun thing this year. We always try to add a little bit more each year, and so we have some s'more stations. We have these little to-go s'more kits. They're really fun. So you can roast your own little s'more while you do the Christmas tree hunting, see Santa, this weekend see reindeer, all the above.
I'm so excited. This brings the little kidness out of me, because no matter how old you are, coming here with your kids, I could definitely say a lot of adults want these memories with their families. And this is a great experience where it's nostalgic, right? To come out and get that fresh Christmas tree. You're not needing to wander into the woods by yourself for miles and drag it out. You pick the tree. Your kids obviously have a fun time with smiles on their faces, and they can do it all in a 3-day stretch. Yeah. Something else I kind of wanted to ask you is, in terms of this event, how many years have you been doing this?
We have had a nursery out here for about 40 years. My dad's been doing Christmas trees for about 25. I took over the business from my dad 4 years ago. But we've always grown a little bit more and more each year. And it's, to your point about the families, like there's been families coming here for 20 years.
Wow.
You know, little ones, and now they're off to college. And so it's always fun to see, year over year, the kiddos and, puppies even, people bring their dogs out. And so it's really fun to see the families grow with us.
It's a way to give back to the community too. You're putting smiles on people's faces for the holidays.
It's a really fun time.
Well, Sam, thank you for joining us. Now, Haley, I want to show you one thing. Tim, did you zoom into that cute car over there? I know Haley and I can't fit in it, but Haley, you see that little tree on there?
Yeah.
It is adorable. And I did see a little kid who was shopping for a Christmas tree. You get to drive it around, and it's the cutest thing. So really, they have a little bit of everything here to have some fun. And the smell, there is nothing better than the smell of a real tree. So obviously, Haley, you could tell I have the reindeer antlers on. They are flying from the North Pole here with Santa by the end of the week. They're not here yet, but we're getting excited for them, especially if you maybe want to see a real reindeer, get a picture with one. Again, pick out the tree perfect for your house. There's so many different shapes and sizes, so there's no excuse that it's not going to fit. There will be one that you could find that will fit. It's a really great feeling out here.
Also, Lisa, speak for yourself. I'm 5'3". I probably could fit in that child's car. That's too cute that they have that there. Since you're wearing the reindeer ears, I have to ask, do you have a reindeer name?
Ooh, I'm going to have to think of one.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
I want to call myself Blizzard.
Blizzard.
It's weather.
Yes.
It's part of the winter.
I totally
My
love
reindeer
this.
name is Blizzard.
Blizzard.
We're going
and
with it.
You know what? You could be like cousins with Blitzen. They kind of go together there. That's perfect.
Oh, there we go.
Blitzen and
the
Blizzard.
best thing too, Haley, they have hot cocoa here, a little booth where besides their hut, so there is a hot cocoa shack. And Sam did mention that there's little antlers the kids can wear going around too, so they can get in the festive spirit. And of course, hot cocoa is the best way to stay warm this weekend with the snow coming in. And it's still going to be very easy to get in and out. Again, the roads around here are usually roads that even if we do get some snow, which we are looking at having that, they're treated very easily. So easy to get here, not too far from the Milwaukee metro areas. I know a lot of families like to leave the downtown areas and get out a little bit more into the rural locations, but it's an easy drive. You don't have to drive into central or northern portions of Wisconsin where I will say the weather's looking a little more dicey this weekend, but staying here local, supporting local is going to be a perfect way to have a great memory with your family.
As I say, I'd argue that a little bit of snow is actually perfect for the experience of going and picking out your Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the hot chocolate, give me a s'more. I'm a happy camper. Lisa, you've been there for, I know, a little bit, so have you found a tree that you're really liking that maybe you're going to take home?
Yeah, the one that's 10 feet tall. I don't think it'll fit in my place, but I actually really like one of the smaller trees. Believe it or not, I think I have 4 or 5 fake trees that I put in my house every year. And my family does the same. So I have my tall 6-foot tree, and we have a bunch of different size Norfolk trees is what we call them. So very European for my family. We'll decorate the trees in straw ornaments, but each one has a different theme. So I have my fair share of trees, but I'm thinking I might need to get one real tree this year to really enhance that smell. I have those artificial sticks. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where
like
it smells like
pine
real tree.
sensicles, yeah.
Yeah, and it's great, but let me tell you, walking up and down these rows, there is nothing that smells as real and as good as these trees right now.
All right, you have sold me. You know what? Normally I'm team fake tree. I have many a fake tree, but you're right. There is something about going, smelling a real tree, getting to pick it out, making it a whole family experience. We'll have to go to Mequon this weekend when the reindeer are there. All right, Lisa, thanks so much for joining us here. Oh, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, if you can't get a tree, they have wreaths. They have a whole variety with fun bows. They're also having different hanging arrangements you can get. They have, I've seen little tree reindeer. So it's not just trees. There's a lot of other things you can purchase here for the holiday spirit. Maybe if you're in some sort of rental unit where you can't fit a tree, or maybe you just don't have the space to have a real tree, there's a bunch of different things you can buy as well. So It's fun. You'll have to come out here, Haley. We'll just have to see the reindeer together.
All right, you've sold me. We're doing it. I love it. They have something for everyone. It's going to be a fun time. Thanks so much for joining us, Lisa, here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. That is Reindeer Blizzard signing off for us right there on Wild. I love that there's really something for everything at that Christmas tree farm. And she's right, there really is something about the smell of a real tree, which I did want to go back out to New York. I promised you I would do some research. This is a real tree. They fooled me. This is how you know I'm a Disney adult, because none of the trees in Disney World are real. So whenever I see an abnormally large tree, I assume it has to be fake. But nope, this one is completely real. Its theme is an American Christmas, so I guess we can't really tell from this bird's eye view, but a lot of the ornaments are red, white, and blue. Very fun. I promise we'll calm down the Christmas talk now, and we'll crank up the Thanksgiving talk, because that is what's coming up here on Thursday. Hey, the feeds right now, so active. We're never used to this here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We've got not one, but two reporters on standby to tell us a little bit more about their stories happening right here in the Wisconsin, southeastern Wisconsin area. So you're going to want to make sure and stay tuned. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk, where I don't know about you, but that first half an hour just flew by. We've had nonstop news, and really we're going to continue the same thing here at 106, because Thursday, Thanksgiving, Friday, Black Friday, Saturday, Small Business Saturday. So we're going to bring in our very own Brett Lemoyne. He's out in Menomonee Falls, potentially getting a spa treatment. Brett, tell us more.
Well, Haley, look, I'm at Ebony Aesthetics in Menomonee Falls. They're right at Appleton and County Line Road. And there's 2 spa chairs that are open. One for you, one for Delaney, maybe. This would be very, very nice.
So nice
a nice gift
Brett.
for you guys, you gals, this Small Business Saturday. But yeah, we're highlighting the importance of Small Business Saturday. Ebony Aesthetics has been here in Menomonee Falls at this location for the last 4 years now. And, it's really kind of important to note, Haley, that it's hard being a small business owner, right? It goes without saying. But according to Forbes magazine, 20% of small businesses fail within the first year and 50% fail after 5 years. So it is so important to just continue to support our local businesses, because every dollar that you spend in a local store or local shop or local spa, as it were, stays in the community. There, the money goes back toward the owner and the employees here, and also some of the networking that they've done with other small businesses, providing some products and services. It all stays local, which is why we're talking about the importance of Small Business Saturday. According to American Express, last year alone, Americans spent $22 billion on Small Business Saturday. So it is so crucial to continue to support them. One thing, Haley, that we found that I did not know is that there is a lot of help that is out there for small businesses, especially in our area. The UW Office for Business and Entrepreneurship, they have grants that help folks that have small businesses, not only in Milwaukee County, but also in Waukesha County, Ozaukee County. And basically what these programs do is they are able to provide services for individuals who have small businesses and help them at no cost with things like marketing questions, legal questions, financial strategies. What's really interesting here is that those funds are still available all throughout the calendar year of 2026. So there's still opportunities to be able to participate. That program started in 2023. Again, those funds available through 2026. So have I got your attention, Haley? Are you going to be booking a spa treatment? Perhaps there are gift certificates available.
Brett, you had my attention as soon as I heard it was called Ebony Aesthetics. But I got to ask then, before I commit to going here, what kind of services are we talking about, Brett? You got to sell me so that I go out on Small Business Saturday. What do they offer?
Yes, well, we were here earlier, and there was a lovely woman who was seated in this chair, and she was getting a waterless pedicure. Oh. And let me just say, I've never gotten a pedicure before. You don't want to see my feet, Haley. We'll just put that out there. You don't want to see them. But it looked so relaxing. There was a nice massage and hot towels and oils, and it smelled lovely, and it felt so peaceful. But not only do they do that, but they also do nails. Of course, we have the nail bar right here. And there's also skin treatments that are available, and there's a lovely, I think we can go in. Let's come this way.
Let's go on a field
and
trip.
take a peek. There's no one here right now. It's nice. Listen to the music and the ambiance.
Oh, yeah.
And you come in, and it's so quiet and peaceful, and you can have some skin treatments, you can have a little massage. It's just really, really nice. The owner, of course, her name is Ebony. She got started a couple years ago, and she was a freelance makeup artist. And she said, you know what? I want my own business. I want more of a brick and mortar type place. And so she came here. She started 4 years ago. And, she admits, like any other small business owner, right? It's hard. It's hard work. Just kind of getting off of the ground and getting, started and established. It's not easy. But she has also been helped by these grants, by help from the UW Office of Business and Entrepreneurship, and it's really kind of given her a boost and supported her in her mission to provide care and provide these wonderful services to mainly women. But I could go for. She'd have her work cut out for her. if she went to work on this, it may be a little bit longer of a session than she may have hoped.
I feel like before we're done, Brett, we're going to get you to have a pedicure. There are a lot of men out there who enjoy a good pedicure. It is always a nice treatment. But no, in all seriousness, you taking me just into that spa treatment room, I felt a sense of calm just from the screen. So I know it's going to be so nice for people who are there. But as you mentioned, I mean, it's hard to be a small business owner. I love that there's resources and grants available. But for Ebony, I mean, what really keeps her going even when times get tough? Is it providing the space to the community? Were you able to talk to her about that?
Yeah, it's the clients and the relationships that she's formed too. She wants to be able to be here for those folks. And look, this is something that you can't get on Amazon, right? This is an experience, a local experience. And so when you give a gift, like a gift card, or you come in and you get some products and you give them to your loved one, a family member for Christmas or for any holiday, we don't want to just segregate toward Small Business Saturday, because the emphasis really is year-round supporting these businesses. But at the end of the day, Ebony, like any other small business owner, she has a family to support. She has employees to support. She's got a mortgage just like the rest of us. So there's a lot at stake for these individuals. And this has been a dream of hers to be able to do this, and so it means a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do think even just as a consumer, it feels so much more rewarding to support a small business, to know that I'm making a difference in someone's family than it does to complete my purchase on Amazon. So totally recommend Small Business Saturday. And Brett, I do need you to bring me back some of those Hydra eye patches that your photographer was just showing us.
Ooh.
Those look nice.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Brett's
Will
on
do.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from Brett Lemoyne to me. Brett, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you, Haley.
Of course, absolutely so jealous of him. I would love to be at a spa right now. That looks amazing, and I love that it is supporting a small local business. So go out and shop this Saturday. Go support your favorite kind of shop. I love it's a good reminder too that these kind of aesthetics, these spas, those are also small businesses. You don't have to just think of places where you go and you check out normal products. So I love that story Brett's working on. Catch the full thing later on today on Fox Local. All right, we're going to take another quick break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and then we're heading to Brady Street. Stay with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Tuesday afternoon. Time check for you right now. It is 1:16. Let's take another live look outside here in the Milwaukee area. If you have travel plans, again, I would try and hit the road today. We are expecting some snow and some colder temperatures starting tomorrow. Otherwise, I do believe the forecast is looking a little drier on Thanksgiving. So I think ideal is leaving either today or Thanksgiving. Of course, you are hitting the road instead tomorrow. Just build in some extra time. Know that there's going to be some wet conditions, some snow on the road. Pack your patience, as well as packing all the items you'd need for that Thanksgiving trip. Which, speaking of Thanksgiving, I know a lot of people like to go out, spend some time with their family out of the house, maybe go to a bar or a restaurant. Maybe you're going to head up Brady Street. That's where we're going to head right now, bringing in our very own Durante Matthews here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. And Durante, I know if we're heading out to Brady Street, there's some things we need to know about traffic calming measures. Fill us in.
Hey there. So, yeah, it's been a while now. You know, the Brady Street bid, which is the business improvement district, they have been trying to crack down on speeding and reckless driving and then just, you know, bad road things, pretty much, in the Brady Street area. So right now they have devised a two-phase plan to try to get things on the right track, essentially. So Phase 1, which begins this December, they're going to be doing flashing red lights at the intersection of Humboldt and Brady Street. So they're implementing that for 30 days, and they're hoping that that would help in reducing the amount of speeding and reckless driving through that area. Now, Phase 2, which is going to be in the area that we are right now, we're on North Warren Street here. This is going to begin next year, and then they're going to be implementing traffic calming measures from north Cass through North Warren, which is where we are right now. And right now they're just looking into what that's going to look like. So right now they're debating whether or not they're going to put in raised crosswalks, speed tables, and bump outs, just to sort of slow things down on the road, just to make it safer for people who are just walking out, biking, or driving. So a lot of things coming to this area, yes.
Yeah, absolutely, Durante. Obviously, safety is at the forefront of all of these things. You mentioned phase 1 starting pretty soon here in December. I'm curious, have you been able to talk to anybody out and about on Brady Street with their thoughts on these kind of traffic calming measures? What are they thinking about it?
So actually, two different people gave us two different opinions. One woman that we were speaking with, she was out walking her dog, and then she says, she's all for this. She says she notices that there are a lot of speeding in her area. She stays near the Humboldt area, and she says, people are speeding through all the time, and she just wants to feel safe when she's just crossing and walking her dog. So she says, she's for this. We also spoke to another gentleman. He says he doesn't really know if it will actually make a difference. He says something needs to be done. He just doesn't know if, more speed humps or bump outs will actually make a difference. We even spoke to folks in nearby businesses who also agree that something needs to be done, but they say more enforcement needs to happen in the area, like policing and security. So people are kind of all over the spectrum. They all agree something needs to be done. What exactly? They are still debating that.
Yeah, I mean, we can tell even from just this live shot that it's certainly a busy area. It's 1:20 in the afternoon. We're seeing a lot of cars, a lot of people go by you. Durante, really quickly, for anybody who's maybe not from Milwaukee who is watching right now, can you kind of set the scene of what Brady Street is?
So Brady Street is a very heavily populated area in the city of Milwaukee. There's a lot of foot traffic. There's a lot of car traffic. There's a lot of businesses and bars around the area. It's very good for nightlife and then just day-to-day activities if you want to go to a nearby business. So it is definitely one of the most heavily traveled areas in Milwaukee, if you will. So you can imagine where so many people are coming here, just walking and visiting businesses, traveling and exploring. There is a lot of potential for, some accidents to happen when people are speeding through the area. And there's a lot of people, as you can just see here, folks are just crossing, cars are just coming left and right. It's very congested, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Safety has been a big thing for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, it does seem chaotic again, and it's only 1:21 right now, so I would imagine you add nightlife to it, and you also decrease the sunlight, and I can see how dangerous this could get. Do you know how many accidents this area has seen in the past? Has it been heavily, a lot of crashes, or have people been hit by cars? Do you know any of those statistics, Durante?
So we're still working on getting some of those statistics, but Brady Street has been the scene for a lot of speeding related accidents as well. I believe a few of them had to do with police chases. One woman spoke on that just a couple of months ago. There was a gentleman who fell victim to just being a bystander and was hit from a reckless driving, from a police chase. So yeah, we're still working on getting those exact numbers, but that traffic related deaths are not rare in this area.
Yeah, understand why they have made safety such a big priority there, Durante. When can we catch your full story today on Fox Local?
So we will be, we'll have a full report for you coming up tonight at 6.
All right, we will keep our eyes here on Fox Local at 6 p.m. Durante, thanks so much, and continue news gathering.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, hearing the latest there from Brady Street on the Wisconsin Live Desk before they start kind of phase 1 in December, which again, those red flashing lights. So again, if you are driving and you ever encounter a red flashing light, just a reminder, treat it basically as a 4-way stop. So you do need to stop at a red flashing light, and then whoever got there first would continue to go on. If that's you, that's when you would drive. Definitely trying to slow things down in Brady Street and increase safety before phase 2 eventually rolls out some of those other traffic calming measures. That's when you see roundabouts, that's when you see bump outs. So they're continuing to kind of figure out what phase 2 will look like exactly. But we do know come December, those red flashing lights will start there on Brady Street. Well, we are going to take another quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and we've got more news for you coming up next. Perhaps question of the day. Trisha, do you want to do question of the day? She gave me a thumbs up. We'll do question of the day next. We'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Time check for you here. It is 1:25. I just got word you're going to want to stay tuned the next 5 minutes. Tim Van Born is going to be zooming in with us live from Lambeau as the Green Bay Packers get ready for their Thanksgiving game. That'll be against the Detroit Lions. That's going to be another good division rival there. See what can happen. Obviously, they pulled off the win against the Vikings. I was back on Sunday, but that was only 2 days ago. It's crazy how fast football comes back when you're a Thursday game in the NFL. But before the break, we did tease question of the day, so I feel like it's only fair that we actually do question of the day, which this is going to be so fun to pull in this producer cam because Delaney's hard at work right now trying to get something set up. It's probably a Zoom link for Tim Van Voren, and she can't hear us today. Only Trisha can hear us today, so that's really fun here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Trisha, you are going to be the one chit-chatting with us because Delaney cannot. The question of the day, what is your favorite kind of pie as we head into Thanksgiving?
My favorite pie is apple pie, hands down.
Yes. Okay, you can speak for Delaney. Delaney?
Hers is pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie. Yeah, that's pretty, I feel like, typical for Thanksgiving. I love a good pumpkin pie. Growing up, that was my favorite for Thanksgiving, with lots of whipped cream, of course. But then I got older and I really started like, warm apple pie, but I need a scoop of vanilla ice cream with it. Is that how you feel for your apple pie?
Yes, and I prefer like the crumple top. If you know
Yes,
what I mean.
absolutely. Hey, Ashley Sears just sat down. Can you ask her favorite type of pie? She's going to talk for us. This is great.
She's thinking, just
Oh,
a second.
she's thinking.
Okay, I just had this debate with my mom because she was like, we need a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I said, I actually prefer pecan pie, however you say it.
Right.
And she was like, that is disgusting. That is way too sweet. And I think for Thanksgiving, that's my favorite. But overall, key lime is my favorite.
Key lime. That's another really good one. We want to hear from everybody. So there's actually a megaphone right now. So if you guys want to participate, go to fox6now.com/poll. I always like to wait to vote live here on air because I just think it's fun to see these things move. So maybe Trisha and Ashley will do it. I'm not going to ask Delaney. She seemed a little bit busy trying to get a Zoom link for Tim Van Voren. But we will vote here. I'm going to go apple, but your options, let's see. You've got pumpkin. Ashley, I say pecan. Is that the way you think it is?
I say pecan as well.
Okay, so I think if two of us say it, then it has to be right. If
You know
you're saying pecan.
Actually, when I say it, as like, I say pecan pie with the emphasis on con, which it's C-A-N, so I'm clearly not doing it correctly.
Interesting. I say pecan, and Delaney, I learned, says pecan, which I also thought was a little bit interesting. There's so many ways to say this, so maybe it's just too complicated that it shouldn't be a pie, is my actual opinion. I'm voting here for apple. Let's see it move. There it goes. Trisha's at some point going to get her phone out and vote for apple. But sorry, I got distracted talking to Ashley. Here are your options. Pumpkin, pecan, chocolate, apple, sweet potato, or other. I will say sweet potato pies are huge in the South. I had never had a sweet potato pie before I moved to South Carolina. I get it. They are so good. If you've never had one, I do recommend trying to find a good one out there because they are delicious. Even like a sweet potato cupcake or a sweet potato cake, they love sweet potatoes in the South. So I do see why our producer Matt put that option out there. Again, if you want to get in on question of the day, and we'll check back in later on Wisconsin Live Desk, just go vote right here, fox6now.com/poll. I love seeing all these answers come in. You can also scan that QR code on your screen if you have your phone out and at the ready. Oh, another vote for chocolate. That's what's leading right now, chocolate. Okay. I don't want to judge. I think chocolate pie is an interesting choice for Thanksgiving, but I think the question is, what's your favorite pie? So maybe it's allowed. Ashley, did you vote pecan or did you vote key lime?
I voted pecan for two I did it on 2 separate phones.
Ashley is rigging this poll for us. Well, I'm going to get my work phone in the break. I'll get another vote in there for Ashley, or for Apple. I also would vote for Ashley. Love Ashley. She's back there with Delaney and Trisha today. We've got a full house. Here, let's bring you guys all up really quickly. Give me a good wave. There we go. Ashley, Delaney, Trisha. You wouldn't know that it's a holiday week because there's just so many people. Ashley's really already a Wisconsin Live Desk regular back there. She figured out how to talk so fast. I'm proud of you, Ashley. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and then Tim Van Voren will be on the other side of this break. Stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Time check for you here. It is 1:32, and it is time to talk football. Let's take a live look here at Lambeau. Of course, that is where the Green Bay Packers played this past Sunday, defeating the Minnesota Vikings. Always love to be in the win column. And next up, they're playing on Thanksgiving. So we got to bring in, of course, our expert, Tim Van Voren, our sports director here at Fox 6. Tim, thanks for joining us yet again here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Haley, awesome. You had that nice shot there from the north side of Lambeau Field. I'm over on the south end of Lambeau Field. And as you said, it was a big win at Lambeau Field for the Packers the other day. Now we'll see what they can do on the road.
Yeah, let's start with Sunday. Break down, what did you see? What did you like? What did you maybe not like so much?
I think I liked just about everything if you're a Packer fan in that game. It wasn't the fanciest. It didn't need to be the fanciest. You got ahead against a team that wasn't going to do much offensively, and then you just kind of rode it out from there. I know it wasn't flashy, didn't need to be. This is a short week. Don't throw everything out there on the table Sunday. Get through, get a win. That's what the Packers did. They positioned themselves. They're still sixth in the NFC right now. You can't afford to slip back. So at this time of year, it's not so much about how it looks, Haley. It's just what is the end result. And so for the Packers, it was a victory. They stayed pretty healthy. Jordan Love came back, favoring the shoulder a little bit, but on the field was able to play the whole game. So now they're pointing to Detroit.
Yeah, a win is a win. All right, quick story time for you, Tim. I promise there's a point, so bear with me here. We talked a lot about my fantasy football league. One of my running backs was Devon Achane, who had the week off. All of my other running backs were either out or bye week. I had to go to the rosters. I said, you know what? Let's take a chance on this guy, Emmanuel Wilson. Let's talk about that. Star player. What a great performance. He got me so many points. I might be a Packers fan now.
Astute maneuver, Haley. I would say that's my takeaway from this decision here. Yeah, I've liked Emmanuel Wilson since he's come to the NFL, but really the last couple of years. I know in the preseason this year, a lot of people were talking about, Marshawn Lloyd's going to have a chance. I'm like, don't run Emmanuel Wilson out of there. Marshawn Lloyd remains, just health challenge to get on the field. And Emmanuel Wilson's done a terrific job. He joined our post-game coverage live in Pittsburgh when he had a nice game against the Steelers that night. He filled in for Josh Jacobs against the Giants in the second half of the game at New York, did a nice job. And then up over 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns on Sunday. So delivering for you and delivering for the Packers. And I think giving the Packers some more confidence. Josh Jacobs is a tough running back, but you got somebody with a little shimmy there too in Emmanuel Wilson. So now you can, maybe play a couple guys off against each other or not be so reliant on Jacobs.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's the latest with Josh Jacobs? Is he going to be suiting up here on Thanksgiving?
We didn't really get an official word from the Packers this week so far. No official injury reports are out because they haven't practiced. Matt LaFleur is going to talk to us later today, so we'll see what he has to say there. We were in the locker room earlier today. I saw Josh walking through the hallway, didn't talk to him. So, he's moving around just fine. He wanted to play on Sunday, so I think he's close, but I'm not sure if the Packers feel a need to put him out there. Wilson coming off that big game, you get a weekend off after the Thursday game. Maybe the Packers will say, let's get him ready for December. Or maybe they'll say we need him against Detroit. I could see it going either way, to be honest with you, Haley.
I wonder what it's like if you are Josh Jacobs, though, where you want to be playing and then this other guy gets the chance and he crushes it. I mean, are you happy for him or are you a little jealous, concerned?
I think if I'm Josh Jacobs and knowing him, I'm very happy for Emmanuel Wilson. There's plenty of opportunity for Josh Jacobs here. Emmanuel Wilson delivered well. Other teams now are going to have some tape on Emmanuel Wilson, some more than they did, and maybe do something defensively against him there. Jacobs is a proven pro. I understand the sentiment of what you're asking there, and sometimes you wonder about those guys. Geez, did I lose my playing time? I don't think so for Josh Jacobs. I think a very supportive team guy, and it helped the Packers get a big win. And Wilson's the kind of guy who could, between the two of those running backs, help contribute down the stretch here. 6 weeks ahead, Haley, this is when it's all going to come down to determining how this Packers season will be viewed in the long view.
Yeah, you're talking about kind of the final stretch here. That's why you want to have somebody like Micah Parsons on your team, NFC Defensive Player of the Month. How are we feeling about that?
I don't know how you could feel any other way. He's been just a dominant player, and it's hard to question it. Coming off a 2-sack game there against the Vikings the other day, popping the football free. He's in there. He's penetrating. He's tied for the league lead in quarterback pressures. The thing is, with that, he's tied with Aiden Hutchinson, who plays for the Lions. So we're going to see a couple of guys who can really impact games from their edge rushing positions coming up on Thursday.
All right, so you've just started doing it, but set the scene for Thursday. How are you feeling about this matchup?
I was talking to Malik Heath in the locker room today. He and I are both calling it a grit game. I think that's what it is, Haley. You're going to Detroit. You got a little grit anyway. The crowds get into it. There's intensity. It matters for both teams. It matters a lot for both teams in the NFC playoff picture. So there's a lot going on with this football game. It's the only game on at noon, our time, Thanksgiving. A lot of people are watching across the country. So the stage is set perfectly. Two teams that know each other well. Green Bay won earlier this season, of course, in the matchup, but Detroit won both games last year. There's a lot of history. I think the last 12 games they've played between each other, it's 6-6. You couldn't get a whole lot better in building up to it, Haley.
No, absolutely. Okay, so speaking of Detroit, Thanksgiving, you're going to be there. Are you excited for the halftime show? Jack White. I was just Googling who was going to be performing.
Oh, Jack White. I did not know who we had this year. I've seen the Motown Review a few times there. We had Jack Harlow one year. I got options, Haley. So Jack White, I will be listening from way up on the 7th floor inside Ford Field. The press box is way up there at Ford Field. But we'll get a chance to hear and see what's on with Jack White.
Yeah, a nice bird's eye view for you there. But how hard is it going from, playing on Sunday to now having to play again on a Thursday?
It is hard, and there's travel involved here. It's an easy trip. It's one of the easier trips the Packers have all year, just shooting over to Detroit. But it is a short week, and that's why I think being able to be in control of the game against the Vikings in the second half Sunday was beneficial. The Packers could just kind of, as I said earlier, just kind of get through. Take your foot off the gas a little bit and get through that thing. They didn't have to push to the very end. Detroit had to play an overtime game, so that could be taxing for them mentally or physically as they come back to the football field on Thursday, middle of the day. It's the first game on Thanksgiving in the NFL. It's a triple header on Thanksgiving every year, but Detroit always plays that first one. And after a big parade, you got to work your way through the parade in Detroit too on Haley. So on Thursday. So the Lions players have to get in through all that. So it is difficult. It's mentally and physically challenging, and the guys often say it's really mentally challenging as much as anything else.
Yeah, and I know you were talking about this last week, but I mean, this is really just the NFC North stretch between the Vikings, now the Lions, then we have the Bears up next. What are you expecting with that Bears game? I know we're a week out, but I mean, that is the rivalry, and the Bears are in first right now.
Yeah, the Bears are at first. They're playing on Black Friday, so they have a tough game on Friday, which would be difficult for them to win. But then it's going to all line up for a big game, also on Fox 6 coming up a week from Sunday. That's been pushed back to the national game, the 3:25 slot, and then we'll have a special afterwards for Fox 6, and why not? A Bears-Packers game that means something in December. Haley, that's going to be crazy. The Bears, you'll have a negative point differential this season. They're leading their division, but they have a negative point differential, meaning they've given up more points than they've scored on the year, despite an 8-3 record. So it's just a wacky year in Chicago, kind of a wacky year so far in the NFL. Will that continue to the end, or will things kind of settle in more, established patterns, if you will, here in December? I'm anxious to see, to be honest with you. I give the Bears a ton of credit. They've won the games. They've caught a few breaks. Aaron Rodgers didn't play because of injury the other day. They've caught a few breaks, but they've taken advantage of those breaks. They've given themselves a nice record at 8-3. You can't take those wins away from them. They're there. Teams are going to have to see what they do here in the last month.
That's right. Okay, so I like to talk about fantasy with you. I think it's my question as seen on TVV segment. This is what I would submit. But you were mentioning it during the commercial break. Joe Burrow is going to be back. This was my quarterback who I lost for many, many, many weeks. So then I had to go to my backup, Caleb Williams. But then I also, in the meantime, picked up Brock Purdy off the rosters. So I got to, first of all, probably get rid of one. I don't need 3 quarterbacks. But who should I start this week?
I love the way you're working it. I will say I would go with Joe Burrow. Haley, he's been waiting forever to play. The Bengals are an offensive football team, and the Bengals have absolutely nothing to lose. They have to throw everything at the wall at this stage. They've been waiting for Joe Burrow to come back. I would think the ball would be in the air 85% of the time in their next game. So I would be playing Joe Burrow. And then next time you and I can talk, we can see how that move went, because you can kind of big dog it a little bit here with your Emmanuel Wilson move. So let's see what you do at the quarterback position this week.
Okay, I will keep you in the know, because I am happy to report that as of this week, I'm officially in first, Tim. So our moves are working. We're doing something good.
Right, I'll take the reflected glory here for any time we've talked about it, Haley.
That's right. And final question, totally off topic before you leave. We just did question of the day, and in honor of Thanksgiving, we want to know, what is your favorite kind of pie?
For Thanksgiving or year-round?
I think the options are geared more towards Thanksgiving.
Okay. Pumpkin, 100%. Is it even a question?
I think that apple pie is a good contender for a pumpkin pie, but I do think pumpkin pie is the pie of Thanksgiving.
Apple pie's on the board. I mean, the Titans are in the NFL, but the Patriots are at the top of the AFC. So, that's where I'm on that.
Yeah, totally. So maybe the apple pie is the Vikings of the NFC North.
Okay, sure. Absolutely.
Sure.
Skidding a little bit. The apple pie's skidding a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. I see your vision here. Tim, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm sure we will check in with you again next week. And have a happy Thanksgiving at the game.
Yeah, have an awesome holiday. I'll be spending ours with the Fox 6 football family in Detroit. We'll have the complete coverage, so look forward to maybe being on in a lot of folks' homes as they're getting together with family on Thursday.
Yes, we look forward to that. Thanks, Tim. And as you just mentioned, the game is on Fox 6, so let's pull up that graphic for you here. You can catch it starting with some Fox NFL pregame, 10 a.m. And then, as you mentioned, it is a noon kickoff, Green Bay in Detroit. Jack White, that halftime performance. And then, of course, we have a special edition of Fox 6 News after the game. I know Mary's going to be here. Ted's going to be here for you Thursday night. So we are spending Thanksgiving with you here at Fox 6. And I personally really love watching football on Thanksgiving. I love that they do those halftime shows. I think it's Joe Malone for the Cowboys game, who I think is coming to Summerfest, but I also might be making that up because I'm always the worst at remembering who's actually coming to Milwaukee for Summerfest. But hey, we're going to stick with sports here. We're going to take another break. Coming back, we're talking Admirals. It's hockey time. We're going to hit the ice. Stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Tuesday afternoon. Time check for you now. It is 1:46, and I think it's still like almost 50 degrees. Yeah, 49 degrees right there, which I will take come the end of November, November 25th. Again, it is about to get really cold, and it is about to become snow. So if you were going to hit the road for Thanksgiving travels, the advice of our weather experts is if you can do it today, leave today. Otherwise, potentially leave Thursday. If you absolutely have to leave tomorrow, we're not expecting that much snow, but we just know it's a big travel holiday that maybe just pack some patience, leave early, be slow, be safe. We want you to make it to your Thanksgiving travel plans because that's the goal this holiday season. But hey, we were just talking with Tim Van Voren, all things Packers as they get ready to play on Thanksgiving. Now I think it's time that we hit the ice. We are talking hockey again, joined here with Kevin Gravel, the team captain for the Admirals. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so for starters, how is the season going so far?
It's been good. We're still in the early part of our season, but a pretty good start. We've banked a few wins here early, so obviously a lot to improve on here. But for the start of the season, it's gone pretty much probably as well as we could have hoped. So now it's just kind of continuing to improve and gel as a team and keep things going here.
Yeah, I know we were talking with your coach last week here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. You guys were getting ready to go to Vegas. So how was that trip?
It was good. I think we split 1-1. So, but anytime you kind of get away as a team and just kind of be together for an extended period of time, I think we were there for 4 or 5 days. So it's good team bonding, things like that. You go out to dinners, you're together in the hotel room, especially kind of early on in the year like it is. Just to be able to spend so much time together is a lot of fun, and it's beneficial for the group. And we can't obviously would have liked to. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty good trip there for us. So all in all, pretty good trip, and we're happy to be back home and keep things going here.
Yeah. Okay, so I know this is your third year being team captain. What does that leadership role, mean for you now doing it for year after year?
Yeah, it's something I take a lot of pride in. But it's not just me. Like we've had such a good group of guys, since I've been here since day one. So, I learned a lot from older guys when I was younger, kind of coming up through the ranks and just see what they do at the rank, their habits, and how they approach kind of the day-to-day ins and outs. Like the year can be really long, it can be a grind. So, you kind of look to your older guys to I just try to be kind of that sounding board for guys. You just try to be a good teammate, show them how to do things the right way. And if they have questions or, concerns, whatever it is, I've been fortunate enough to be around for a long time. So you just try to use your experiences and try to help guys out. And like I said, it's not just me. We have a great group of guys. We've got some older, more experienced guys in the room who also are there to be guys that can been looked up to and things like that. So definitely a by committee in our room, and it's one to be it's a fun one to be a part of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so what's on deck for you guys? What games do we have coming up that you guys are already preparing for?
Yeah, so we play tomorrow against Iowa tomorrow night, and then I believe we have a home with Rockford then this weekend, Friday, Saturday. So haven't seen Iowa yet. Play them a lot throughout the year, played them a lot throughout the years, but haven't seen them yet this year. So that'll be play them, get going with those guys. And then played Rockford a few times this year, and they've been pretty exciting games. So I would expect those to be the same again this weekend. So just try to come out tomorrow and set ourselves up for a good week.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to get to know you a little bit more, who Kevin is off the ice here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. For starters, you have a baby.
Yeah.
Tell us all about being a dad.
Yeah, so we had our second towards the end of last season, end of March 24th he was born. So 8 months, I think, actually officially yesterday. So we have 8 months, and we have almost 3-year-old in April, so 2.5-year-old right now. So a little chaotic at the house, but we're making do. But it's a ton of fun. Be able to come home and just kind of hang out with them, a lot of time with your family, and it's really fun to. The 2-year-old is obviously he's got a big personality. He's able to kind of old enough to do things, and you can hang around with him and all that. So he's excited. He's excited about hockey and going to games. So that's been fun for me and my wife. So to be able to come home maybe after a tough day at the rink and things like that, and they're excited to see you. So that's really all that matters, and it's been really fun to kind of grow and learn that like my wife here, the child, the kid part of life. So it's new, but it's exciting.
I would imagine that's got to be really hard to balance, though. I mean, being a dad to two, being a husband, hitting the road as often as you do. So how do you manage all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably harder for my wife than it would be for me. Like, we got a lot to do here with kids and that when we're gone. We're just gone for 5 days, right? So life doesn't stop here. So there's a lot going on that she's got to kind of pick up the slack and wear the burden. So, without your support system, without my wife, obviously you're not able to do this. So she does a lot, way harder job than I do. So, but it is a lot to manage. Like there's days you're tired, come home from the rink or whatever, and you're not really allowed to be. You gotta be dad or be whatever it is, So, it can be a lot, but it's the best. It's so much fun. And, we change it, and it's just walking through the door and having them be excited to see you. And it kind of takes all your other work going on. So it's been fun.
Okay, so I'm curious, when you do hit the road, do you have kind of a favorite away destination that you get to go and play at?
That's a good question. We go to Texas, Austin a lot. That's a good spot. I go there frequently. We just got back to Vegas, like that's a good spot to beat on the road. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot. So I've played in a lot of the American League out west. Is tough to beat. You got Palm Springs, San Diego. Those are all great areas. Charlotte's a great spot to go. To be honest with you, Milwaukee is, in my opinion, one of the best spots to play in the American League. So we're lucky when we're at home. We're in such a great city. So, but it's good. We go to a lot of cool places. You get to see a lot of cool cities, experience a lot of cool things. So, we're very fortunate with what we're able to do.
Yeah, I would say Milwaukee is a great city, but it doesn't hurt to get to go out west when it's like the Wisconsin winter that you're kind of over. That's when you want those nicer temperatures. Okay, what is your favorite hockey memory from over the years?
My favorite memory, I would say, obviously playing your first NHL game is one that's tough to beat. You put everything into it, you put so much work and effort for that dream to kind of come to fruition. Is something that you don't forget. So I think that's got to be up there. I think just too, it's not one specific memory, but now it's just really fun for me to have like my kids at the game. Like my oldest is to come to the locker room after games, or we took them on the ice last week or whatever it was for the first time. So just like those little things that maybe aren't anything, one big specific thing, but just those little memories that you make throughout the year are never really going to forget. It's really going to go through the year, and like these experiences of playing hockey with my kids and my family is probably the one that's most important.
Yeah, I'm sure you're inspiring your kids, but I'm also sure you're inspiring other young kids who go to these games and say, hey, I want to play hockey, or maybe I can make it pro one year as well. What is your advice to anybody who wants to make hockey their career?
Yeah, I think you just keep working. I know when I was younger, I really thought this was going to happen. Or, I didn't really, you never think it's attainable, and all of a sudden, you keep working and you keep advancing, you keep moving up, and then here you are. But, I think you just got to kind of continue to find the joy in it and have fun with it. It can be a lot of work. It can be a grind, and it certainly is, but it's also the best. It's the best. It's so much fun. You got to find the enjoyment in the grind and the enjoyment in the hard work and things like that. Because as hard as it is, it's that much more rewarding at the end. So for kids out there that are looking or want to continue to play, I just have fun with it and keep working and enjoy the grind and enjoy the long process, because it is long, and you don't necessarily need to get worried about anything else and what they're doing around you. You just kind of stick to what you do, and continue to grow at your.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of very good advice there. Kevin, we appreciate you so much joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Best of luck with the rest of the season, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thank you. You guys as well. Appreciate it.
Of course. That's the latest there from the Milwaukee Admirals. Of course, I feel like we're so lucky to have such a great hockey team right here in Milwaukee. We talk a lot about Packers, and we talk about the Bucks and the Brewers, but don't forget, we got a hockey team as well. I know Fox 6 is actually working on a fun kind of FOX6 night coming up December 13th, I think is when it is, against the Chicago Wolves. Delaney and I might be there. Let's pull up Delaney really quick. Delaney, are you excited to go to this game December 13th?
I am.
We're obviously rooting for the Admirals, even though I'm from Chicago. We do not want the Chicago Wolves to win.
No, we're rooting for the Admirals.
That's right. Always for the Admirals. I gave you guys two loyalties. I'll be an Admirals fan. I'll be a Bucks fan. I'm just keeping my Cubs and my Bears.
That's fair.
That's uncompromising.
Yeah, that's a good compromise.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, hey, we're going to take a quick break right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Delaney and I will look at the feed, see what we can bring you. And then coming up at 2:10, we're going to talk the very latest on Thanksgiving holiday travel. Maybe you're going to the airport. Maybe you're hitting the road. We'll have all the kind of advice that you need to make sure that trip goes as seamless as possible. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is still Haley with you here at 2 o'clock, and I'll be with you for the next 30 minutes. Then Kim Murphy will take over at 2:30 and get you all the way to 3:30. I was just taking a look at the feed. They're a little quiet, but we can still take a little bit of a journey together. Let's show this White House live shot again here in D.C., where you can actually see one of those cranes moving in the background. That's still the construction on that new ballroom. But earlier today at the White House, we saw the pardon of the two Thanksgiving turkeys that came to D.C. all the way from North Carolina, called Gobble and Waddle, which Delaney had an excellent point, so I'm already going to bring her in here. Delaney, you didn't like the name Waddle.
No, not really.
You thought it should be Trot.
Yeah, I always think turkey trot.
Yeah.
Not like Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle I think more penguin.
Yeah, I think penguin or like a duck.
Yeah.
Waddles.
Ashley, would you like to chime in on your thoughts on Waddle?
I'm okay with Waddle, but I do like turkey trot. You think of like, you know,
Yeah.
run and all that. But yeah, Waddle, you think of more of a penguin. You're right.
Right. Gobble made sense to me. Waddle didn't even show up to the ceremony, Delaney. It just says that he was MIA, so he wasn't even behaving.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Gobble was there. He got pardoned for the both of them. Now they go live a nice life on a farm, which Delaney just learned yesterday. I think you learned this yesterday, that they spend the night in a hotel last night.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy that there is a hotel room for two turkeys?
It's wild to think about.
It's wild. That was good, Delaney. If you don't know, we call the Wisconsin Live Desk lovingly Wild, because there's, oh, pointing's hard, WILD. Wild. That's the turkeys there. But they're pardoned, so they will not be a part of anyone's feast. But maybe you're going out today and you're shopping, getting all the supplies you need for your feast. Best of luck to you. I feel like the grocery stores are probably a pretty crazy space today and tomorrow. A couple other cameras we have here on our live feed. I found this shot of New York, which it seems like they're also kind of gloomy and doomy, but it almost seems like there's some pink in the sky. But what's more sad to me is how dark it looks. This would be 3 p.m. in New York, but it just gets so dark so early now. It's so sad. And then there's this gloomy shot of Lady Liberty there in New York. I feel like a lot of preparations are probably going on in New York right now for the Thanksgiving parade that will be there. Maybe that's one of your Thanksgiving traditions, is watching, but don't do that. Watch Fox 6. Our whole team will be here. They've got a whole nice lineup and a lot of good local content for you come Thanksgiving. I also wanted to remind you, despite it being warm right now, a Wisconsin winter, and very soon, as in the next day or two, it's going to get very cold, really requires a good coat. So I wanted to remind you about our Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive. I know we mentioned this heavily last week with our telethon, but it is still going on. It runs all the way through December 7th, and there is quite the need for coats for kids right here in the Milwaukee area. The Salvation Army, when I was talking to them, they started out this season at their very first distribution event, giving out more than 1,000 coats. I was also talking to our partners at Operation Warm, and they were saying they have kind of a wish list where if a parent needs a coat, they can go and fill out this wish list. They got more than 1 million requests. Now, that is across the country, but still 1 million people in need of coats for their children. Just tells you a little bit about the need here in our area as well. So again, there's kind of 2 ways to donate and to participate here in the Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive. The first way is to donate a brand new winter coat or a gently loved winter coat. Those can be dropped off at any of the Milwaukee area Steinhoffels, at any of the Landmark Credit Unions, and at any Salvation Army church or distribution center. Again, a little caveat there. Don't drop them off at a Salvation Army retail store. It will still be donated, but it will go to the store instead of going to this drive. So look for those big blue barrels at any of those locations. That is the Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive. That's where you can drop off those coats. I also like to remind you, if you're doing a gently loved winter coat, just make sure it's something that you would want your child to wear. So make sure that zipper works all the way. Make sure there's no holes in the pockets, no tears, no stains. We want to make sure that we're giving good items to the kids in our Milwaukee community. Also make sure it's truly a winter coat. This is not the time to bring in a lighter jacket or a sweatshirt. We want our kids warm when they are at the bus stop heading off to school. You can also donate brand new winter accessories that are scarves or hats or mittens. Those do need to be brand new though. It's really cool. The distribution centers, they get to go and shop. They get to go pick out the coat that's in their size, in their color, or their design that really speaks to them, and then they get to go pick out the hats, the gloves, the scarves to go with it. If you're like me and you don't have extra space in your closet, you don't have any children's coats lying around, we can still participate by scanning that code right there, that QR code on your screen. That's how you can make a monetary donation. You'll also find all of this information right on the homepage of fox6now.com. But if you go there, you can donate money, which we then, in our partnership with Operation Warm, are able to use to purchase brand new coats. For every $25, we're able to get a coat that would retail for $61. It's a great deal. They are high quality coats that are made to be on trend. Operation Warm works with people at TJ Maxx and Nordstrom to make sure these coats are on trend and in colors that the kids would want. Really what's kind of in the moment right now, this season, this year. So that's another great option to donate that way. At our telethon, y'all showed up in such a big way. We raised, I believe, $52,000, able to purchase more than 2,000 coats. But there are still more kids in our area in need. That's why our drive goes all the way to December 7th. So if you are maybe thinking of a Giving Tuesday option, this could be a great way to give back. And keep in mind that all of those coats and these donations, they stay here in our community. It's a really great opportunity to give back that way. I have to say, it was so cool getting to be in the studio for the telethon and to, you know, be in the middle of interviewing somebody and to say, the phone lines are quiet right now, like, we need you guys to call and donate, and for you to immediately pick up that phone and to make a donation. It has been amazing to see the generosity here in our community with that Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive. 41st year we've done it here at Fox 6, and it's so impressive to think of the legacy, 41 years. And if you're wondering why we haven't stopped or why there's still a need, keep in mind it's because kids grow. They grow so easily every single winter. And so the coat that might have worked for a 6-year-old boy or a 7-year-old boy last year is not going to work for them this year. They grow so fast. So there's consistently that need. And that is why we continue to do this coat drive to meet that needs for those children. So that's the latest right there on the Fox 6 Coats for Kids drive. Keep in mind, fox6now.com is how you can donate. Again, a $25 donation will buy that brand new coat. The other thing I want to remind you of, because I know Thanksgiving's important, and you might have missed our interview with TVV, which I'm sorry, because those are sometimes my absolute favorite of the week. No offense to Ashley, who is listening in the producer booth. I also love anytime I can talk to Ashley. She took us shopping for Orange Friday last week, which we loved. But we do love talking to TVV. And we love talking football. And keep in mind, your Packers, they play at noon. So this could be the great game to have on while you're still cooking. Because if you're my family, we say we're going to eat at noon, and nothing is ever ready at noon. I don't know why my cousins and my aunts and uncle, they continue to show up because they're just going to be sitting around for about 2 more hours. Usually the meal is served closer to 2 p.m. But again, Fox NFL pregame starts at 10 a.m. Green Bay taking on the Detroit Lions at noon, and then we'll have a special edition of Fox 6 News after the game, so make sure and catch that. Hey, we're going to take, oh wait, I totally lied. I was going to say we were going to take a quick break, but no, I wanted to check in on our question of the day, which is what is your favorite pie for Thanksgiving? And I learned that Kale, one of our managers, is really rigging this. I was confused why chocolate had so many votes, 30%. It's because he voted on 3 devices. We see you, Kale. And I'm going to vote now on my work phone for Apple because I think that, actually, I don't know, can I split vote? Because now that I'm thinking about sweet potato, that is so good. Delaney, have you ever had a sweet potato pie?
I have not.
Okay, I really think it's a Southern thing because I had never had one growing up here in the Midwest, and then I moved to the South, and everyone talked about sweet potato pies. I mean, like right now, that is all bakeries are making, and they have probably sold out as of weeks ago when you could pre-order. And I was like, what is the hype with this sweet potato pie? And then I had one. Oh, it's so good, Delaney. Like what dreams are made of.
It sounds really good. I'll have to try it.
I really recommend. Ashley, have you ever had a sweet potato pie?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They're delicious. You know, when I saw that poll come up, I was like, oh, I should have voted at least for one sweet potato pie. There's a guy here, it's called Mr. Dye's Pies.
Okay.
You should check him out in Milwaukee. And we pre-ordered some pies one year, and we got a sweet potato pie way better than pumpkin, I would say. Sweet potato casserole, also a banger.
Always. That's what I think I grew up with more of, was a sweet potato casserole with the little marshmallows on it. But yeah, in the South, when they make these pies, I mean, also like legit taking notes of the place that Ashley just said. I was like, yeah, let me write that down. I'm going to need to order a pie. Probably next year. They're probably sold out now. But Delaney, you and I next year, we'll do a Friendsgiving and we'll get a sweet potato pie. And Ashley's invited to our Friendsgiving.
Can I bring a 5-year-old?
Absolutely. We insist.
We have to do it now.
Yeah, well, I don't even trust you. Tonight, Delaney and I were supposed to hang out for a little get-together I'm throwing in my apartment, and she's ditching me.
I'm leaving to go on vacation early.
My heart is broken. I have prepared a crafted menu that fit the theme.
I do really want to be there for the Dancing with the Stars finale.
Delaney, I was purposely not mentioning the show because that is not a Fox show, but we do watch it and we do love it. And you don't get a Mirabelle margarita. Brooke and I will get them all.
I know, I'm jealous.
Good, you should be. All right, hey, let's take another break and then let's talk holiday travel, which you're the expert on leaving today.
Let's do it.
Can you do my favorite thing?
We'll be back after this short break.
Thanks, Delaney.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Tuesday afternoon. Time check for you. It is 2:12, and we have been talking a lot about Thanksgiving, holiday travel. I want to take a live look really quickly here at Mitchell International Airport, where I see a lot of planes getting ready to take off. I know today will be a busy day for them. I know tomorrow will be a busy day for them. Really just going to be a busy travel day all around the country. We're actually joined right now with our multimedia reporter, Kaylee Schuyler, who you're in Boston at Logan International Airport. For starters, it's looking busy. Is it busy out there?
Started to pick up here within the last hour. When I first got here earlier, or kind of late in the morning, you could almost hear a pin drop. I was shocked when I walked in. But for 2 days out from Thanksgiving, middle of the afternoon, things are looking pretty good. I'm seeing short lines to check bags, short lines at security. So I think that's good news all around. And I've spoken to some travelers. They say they've gone through security quickly at other airports that they were landing here in Boston. Travelers who were checking in here say they've had some delays, maybe around 10 minutes, but they say all things considered, things are looking pretty good. Now, nationwide, according to FlightAware, there's more than 2,700 delays and around 70 cancellations right now. So we're hoping, those don't keep going up into the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a few weeks ago when the government was still shut down, people were very nervous about Thanksgiving travel, worried their flights would be canceled or delayed. So all in all, 70 cancellations doesn't sound too bad when you're looking from the country kind of point of view. I'm curious, any delays, cancellations at Boston?
There have been a few delays, a couple cancellations, but nothing too crazy compared to what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Across the country yesterday, too, things weren't looking the best, and we're also facing some severe weather across the country. Any severe weather you can think of, the country is facing it. I mean, there are blizzards in the forecast, thick fog, heavy rain, floods. So here so far, I think all things considered, everything's looking pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, going back to government shutdown, people were definitely worried about, TSA agents calling out, but I think the biggest concern were those air traffic controllers. Do you know how staffing is going from that point of view?
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, he held a press conference yesterday, and he said that things are back to pre-government shutdown levels. So he says they're still understaffed. It's going to take a while to fix. That's what we've been hearing. But he said travelers shouldn't expect to see delays because of understaffing. So that's good news heading into this busy weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And how busy, and I apologize if you've already touched on this, Kaylee, but how busy is the FAA expecting this Thanksgiving kind of holiday weekend to be when it comes to traveling via the skies?
Yeah, so I'm going to refer down to my notes a little bit just so I get these numbers right. So throughout the whole week, they're expecting more than 360,000 flights that are scheduled to take off. Today is actually expected to be the busiest day before Thanksgiving. So around 52,000 flights are going to take off today. And as for post-Thanksgiving travel, they say Sunday could be one of the busiest travel days in history. But TSA also says they're expecting to screen 18 million people starting today through next Tuesday.
Okay, that's a lot of people that are about to be screened. And if anybody's watching right now thinking, oh goodness, I'm flying back home on Sunday, any advice for these travelers besides pack your patience?
Yeah, I think you have to get there early, keep checking the apps, whatever airline you're flying, and really hope for the best. I think my policy, I travel a lot for this job. I always book the earliest flight that I can. Usually you face less delays and cancellations when you do that. So if there's any way, if you booked a mid-afternoon flight and you can bump it up, I would maybe do that.
Yeah, I think that is some great advice right there, Kaylee. We appreciate you joining us so much here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too.
Of course, that's the very latest for your kind of travel forecast. Going to be a busy one, so definitely pack your patience if you are able to. Hey, something just popped up on our feeds that we want to bring you to. This, of course, is Mayor Cavalier Johnson here providing some sort of statements to media. So we're going to listen in together and see what we can learn about what he's talking on.
Tax increases, additional borrowing, pulling out divisions from departments, and just did one summary override, which I don't think that I've ever seen before. And I don't know if that, I don't think that it necessarily is a good thing for people in the city of Milwaukee that want to make sure we have an open, transparent process. So I was concerned about that, but it is what it is. It's done. And now we move forward to 2026. I was very, very clear that as we move forward here in the next couple of years, the budgets are not going to get any easier. They're just not. That's just a fact of the matter. And so when there are increases like the ones we saw here, when there's an expansion of services, that makes those future budgets ever harder. And so that's the position that we're going to be in 2027, and beyond. I wish that that were not the case. I wish that there was more room for compromise. I wish there was more room for looking out for the bottom line of taxpayers in Milwaukee. But the council has decided to move forward in a different direction.
Talk about that 15-0 vote. I mean, what are you going to be doing to mend this relationship? If you were the Common Council president and you had a 15-0, I mean, that is pretty striking to have 15 against your veto.
Yeah, well, as I said before, I mean, I don't know if in Milwaukee right now, if there is an objective system of checks and balances, right? When there is a unanimous override and no discussion on raising our tax levy anymore, and there's no discussion, just summarily just passes, right? I think that there's conversations that continue to happen. That did not happen though when I was. You brought up the fact when I was council president that I was council president. That did not happen when I was council president. Not that way. Not in one fell swoop where all vetoes were just cobbled together and summarily overridden. We'll continue to have conversations. Ultimately, it's voters and taxpayers and residents in Milwaukee that need to pay attention to what's going on here. My position has been, look, I want to make sure that we account for inflation, that we deliver services that people expect, that people deserve, that people need in Milwaukee, and have the requisite amount of tax revenue in order to accomplish that goal. When my veto was overridden to raise taxes by millions of dollars more, and to put money into coffers for programs that are run by the council that, quite frankly, have enough money as it is already, that becomes a problem. So I suggest people pay attention to what's happening in City Hall.
As far as the overall spending here, my reading of that, it looks like all told, the council's budget spends a little more than $9 million more than your budget. Just how significant is $9 million? We're talking about a more than $2 billion budget. So if they're adding $9 million, is that really that significant in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, it is, because that $9 million comes from somewhere. And the place that $9 million come from is from the pockets of people who own property in the city of Milwaukee. It comes from taxpayers in our city. And I don't care if it's $1. We have to work to make sure that we're being responsible stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. And that's exactly what I've tried to do throughout this process in a transparent way, even trying to find throughout the process compromise. So for instance, on fire trucks, right? I recognize there's a need to do more on fire trucks. I want for us to have a fleet that is able to go out and meet the day, right? When somebody calls for fire service, they should be able to get the necessary apparatus responsible to take on whatever issue that they have. I allocated millions of dollars, towards that. The council says, hey, let's do more. I said, okay, let's do that. Let's find a compromise to do more. And I said, well, instead of the $2 million that I allocated, not the $10 million that they said that they want to do, let's do $6 million, because that accounts for millions of dollars in new borrowing, and it allows for us still to move forward with a project in the Department of Public Works that still needs to happen. Taking money away from it doesn't stop the building that we're talking about down in the Menominee Valley from crumbling, from falling apart, from requiring us to borrow $1 million every year just to keep the thing up and running. Doesn't stop that. It just kicks it down the road, just kicks the can. My position was like, let's take care of both of these things. Let's continue to make historic investments in the fire department, which I've been doing since I've been mayor. That's why we've been opening more firehouses. That's why there's been more ambulance units that have been added in the department over the past number of years. But let's also take care of this infrastructure that we have with the Department of Public Works, so that we don't have to put money on the credit card, borrowing, in order to just keep the building up and running so that services can continue to be delivered. But there was no compromise there. There wasn't. Right? They just summarily overrode the budget and didn't even have a discussion, or overrode my veto rather, and didn't even have a discussion about it. Now that's what happened.
What happens to the DPW new building now that you're going to not have that $4 million?
Well, I mean, what's been happening over the course of the last number of years is that we will continue to have to borrow $1 million a year, at least, in order to stick it into this building that, I would rather have us in a position where we're able to move on from that and not be in a position where we're borrowing millions of dollars a year, or at least $1 million a year, in order to sink it into a building that needs to be replaced. So we're going to, unfortunately, have to continue on with the path that we've been on the past number of years, which is borrowing more money to put in a building that we eventually need to vacate anyway. And we could have done that while still also having historical investment in the fire department, like I sought to do in a compromise with the Common Council.
MPA also has that deal approved by the council today, but a couple of members of the council made comments to the effect of there should have been more accountability type language baked into the contract, that there's a certain standard and expectation for what response times look like, what staffing looks like in different districts. I mean, we're going to be right back at the table very soon after what was a pretty extensive labor negotiation with the MPA. Is that something that did come up in talks and trying to set certain benchmarks for what police performance looks like? And is it going to be even a harder discussion next time around? Because as you said, you're not looking at rosy budgets down, in the future.
No, we're not looking at rosy budgets. And as a matter of fact, again, I'll just reiterate the fact that the last time that the MPA contract was approved was a few years ago in my administration. I've always been interested in working to make sure that we have a contract with the MPA this time around. I think what was ultimately passed by the Common Council is a reflection of that. I think that when you look at the other unions that have bargaining power here in the city of Milwaukee, months and months ago we already had deals struck with them, whether it's the police supervisors organization or Local 215 representing our fire department. Look, we request a lot of our police department and the officers in that department. I want them to be compensated well. Because they have a very difficult job. There's not a lot of people who are willing to stand up and put on their boots and go out there and protect and serve the way that Milwaukee police officers are doing. So they have nothing but my utmost respect, because we expect a lot out of our police officers. What I thought was kind of interesting, though, in the council meeting today, there were folks who were cheering on making investments in our workforce for other employees, but then you had folks who had the commentary that they did about these employees in the police department, right? I want to make sure that all of our employees are adequately paid. We had a reclassification some years ago to bring folks to market because it was difficult to even hire people to fill potholes in the city of Milwaukee. So we worked to correct, that issue. With the budget that we're talking about for 2026, the council wanted to increase the pay for city employees, which I agree. They were adding additional percentage off of the base that I had already established in my proposed budget, which was a 2% increase. So in a compromise, I said yes, and that's really what today has been about. It's been about my willingness to try to work with council, try to compromise in order to get the best deal for people who live in the city of Milwaukee, and look out for the people who deliver services each and every single day, including police officers who have a very, very difficult job.
We can do one more. Final signature on the MPA contract scheduled for next week. You still have to sign off on it?
I still have to sign it, yes. And so, yeah, I mean, when it gets back to me, it's not here just yet, but yeah, we'll sign off on it.
Obviously, I mean, you negotiated.
Yeah,
$25 million in back pay, that was a lot of money. You guys have been putting that money aside in a settlement fund in the last budget. Why not just have done this a lot earlier? You knew it was going to be $25 million back pay. Why not just?
There's negotiations that happen, right? Because the police union and the fire union have the ability to collectively bargain. I mean, that's what the process is. That's what was asked for before those years back when Act 10 initially was passed and stripped other municipal workers of the ability to collectively bargain. They wanted to retain the ability to collectively bargain. That's exactly what happened.
All right, thanks,
Mayor, appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Right, if you're just joining us, we were listening in there as Mayor Cavalier Johnson kind of gave his reaction to some of the Common Council's decisions today. A couple of things you might have heard our very own Jason Calvi there asking some of the questions that Jason has alerted us to is first that the Common Council did vote to approve the MPA union contract. So that is now officially done. I know it's had a lot of different steps between Common Council needing to approve it, the mayor needing to approve it, the union needing to approve it. So that should be all done as of now. The other big update today is regarding fire trucks. You might remember Jason actually joined us on the Wisconsin Live Desk last week to talk about the numbers and the ask and the compromise and what happened. Basically, Common Council had wanted $10 million for fire trucks that Cavalier Johnson, the mayor there, vetoed and said you can have $6 million. Today, the alders already voted to override that veto, meaning that they will get the $10 million for fire trucks. And that was a unanimous vote, 15-0. So you might have heard Jason ask the mayor his thoughts on that unanimous vote to override his veto. Of course, Jason will work on a full story regarding all these decisions from Common Council that you can catch a little bit later here on Fox Local, but I'm glad we could hear some of the mayor's thoughts to what happened today. The other thing I wanted to do before I say goodbye to you guys for this Tuesday is head back out to Mitchell International Airport. I know we were talking kind of travel, what it's expected when it comes to this Thanksgiving holiday from a big point of view across the country, but we do have some kind of numbers from the Milwaukee International Airport. So they are expecting 200,000 passengers will fly through Milwaukee between tomorrow and Sunday. So that's still a very high number of travelers for even a smaller airport here. So they did say a couple of things that you can do to really make your trip easier is one, stay in touch with your airline. Same advice we just got moments ago. Travelers should download their airline's app to stay up to date on any changes to flights, early check-in, get your mobile airline tickets. They also say arrive early. They recommend getting to the airport 2 hours prior to your departure time, especially if you are checking bags or if you are flying with small children. They also recommend simplifying parking. So they say to download the MKE Smart Park app. That's how you can actually reserve parking in advance. Then you will be able to use your smartphone to just scan in and out of any parking facility. The other piece of advice, maybe you're not flying, but you're picking somebody up from the airport that's flying to you for Thanksgiving. They recommend that you actually park in hourly parking instead of trying to pick them up by the baggage claim roadway. That can be a very congested road. It can be a headache to get in. It can be a headache to get out of. It can be hard to even find your loved ones. So they do say that if you park in hourly parking and you are there for 30 minutes or less, it is completely free. So that's just another idea that they have as a way to avoid kind of any unnecessary headaches. They also say monitor the incoming flight status. That way, if your loved one's flight gets delayed and maybe they didn't let you know, or they're just dealing with the slower air travel than they anticipated, you're not just unnecessarily waiting at the airport. And so you can have some time at home instead, because I'd much rather be waiting at my house than at the airport to pick up a loved one. Delaney, I'm bringing you back in because that's not Delaney, that's the Live View app. You have some Thanksgiving travel plans. Tell us about Tennessee.
I'm driving down to Tennessee tonight with my family. My uncle lives down there, so then we'll do Thanksgiving down there this year.
And you're going to Zoom in with us tomorrow on the Wisconsin Live Desk?
We'll see.
That's not
I don't know what the
very
news is
promising.
going to be down there.
Well, I don't need news. I just want to hear from you. I want to know if you made it safely, and I just want to see you.
You can send me a Zoom link.
Okay. She said you can send me a Zoom link, but I'm not sure if I'll actually be joining. All right, that's fair, Delaney. For what it's worth, we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
We'll see you back here on Wild on Monday. I'll be back here tomorrow at 12:30, but I'm going to say goodbye for now because Kim Murphy just stepped into the closet. She's got you covered till 3:30. So I'll take this break here, and when we come back, it will be Kim. Have a good rest of your day.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
It sure is. Welcome to the Wisconsin Live Desk for this Tuesday before the holiday. How are you doing? Thanks for joining me for the last hour of wild. It is wild out there. I tried to do some grocery shopping earlier today to beat the crowds. Spoiler, they're already out there. I went to the grocery store and people are mad out there in the parking lot. People are just cutting you off, backing up without paying attention to who's behind them. So just slow down, people. It's going to be there today. It's going to be there tomorrow. Just give yourself some time, be patient, and let's make this a safe holiday. No need to have some of your holidays spent in an emergency room because someone ran over you or you ran over someone. So that's my little piece of advice. Let's take you outside, and this is what we're looking at today. It's not the best looking day of days. And the travel forecast isn't that much better. They are saying that we are in for some snow, some high winds, and some bitter cold. Like right now, it's 50 degrees out there, gorgeous. Even though it's not sunny out, it's very mild for this time of year. Tomorrow, it's just going to feel a complete 180. Rain changing into snow, possible 1 to 2 inches up north in central Wisconsin. Gusty winds, 45 miles per hour. I think there is a gale advisory that kicks in tomorrow evening. Wednesday night, again, windy, bitter cold, temperatures falling into the 20s. And Thanksgiving, it's still going to be cold. Highs only near 30. So if you are expecting company and they are coming from parts south, have them bring some extra layers because they are going to need it. Oh, this is where we play our game, where if we get a plane either landing. Oh my gosh, we've got 2, Delaney. This is exciting stuff here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Wouldn't you agree?
It is. It's always fun to see the planes land or take off.
Always, and wondering like where they're headed to. So southwest, this one's taken off, hey?
I think so.
Where are you? I heard you speaking with Haley. You're off tomorrow and the rest of the week?
Yeah, going down to Tennessee.
Tennessee? Who's in Tennessee?
My uncle lives down there. Yeah.
Okay. What part of Tennessee?
He's like an hour south of Nashville.
Okay. Are you guys driving or flying?
Driving down.
Oh, okay. Is that fun or is that kind of a little bit of a family bonding?
I'd rather fly.
Okay.
It'll be interesting though.
How many people are going to be in the car?
5.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, both my parents and then my brother and my sister.
Oh my gosh, this is taking it back old school, like when you guys were kids.
Yeah.
Who's
it's the first road trip in a while.
Who's going to be in the middle?
Probably me.
Okay. Have you guys discussed that or have you thought about that?
We haven't thought about it, but
okay.
Growing up, I was always the one thrown in the middle or the back seat, so it'll probably be me.
Also prompt a fight?
Always. Always drama.
Okay. And where are you in the pecking order? Are you the youngest?
I'm the middle.
You're the middle. Yeah. Oh, then put the baby in the middle.
Right? I know my sister's much taller than me.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
I've
always been thrown to the middle.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, this should be interesting. You maybe do some TikToks or something like that, and you can share the trip there and the trip back.
Definitely.
And you can share it here on the Wild Desk.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to take a break and see what else is going on around the system. Not a whole bunch right now. It's kind of quiet. I know that the holiday isn't until Thursday, but I think already people are just kind of like, you know, scaling back work, probably leaving early today, probably not working tomorrow. So we're going to check and see what else is going on, and we'll be back right after this on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
All eyes have been on Cook County in the courtroom where Morgan Geyser, the woman involved in the Slender Man stabbing case, appeared in court, an extradition hearing back to Wisconsin. She was arrested in Posen, Illinois after leaving her Madison group home with a 43-year-old man. Our Christina Van Zelst is following this story, and Christina joins us live. Christina, what can you tell us about what happened this afternoon?
Yeah, hi, Kim. So we're currently driving back from Chicago right now to the Milwaukee area from that extradition hearing. It was brief. Morgan Geyser was in court today. She waived the hearing, which the district attorney's office in Waukesha County said this speeds up the process getting her back into Wisconsin. So it was only a couple minutes long of a hearing. Again, that was in Cook County because she was arrested here in Illinois. So as for the next steps, the Waukesha County District Attorney put out a statement today saying that they're working with the Sheriff's Department to determine when Morgan Geyser will be transported back to Waukesha County, and that is where she will face any sort of consequences that might come from this situation. And the district attorney also says that Wisconsin DHS is who has Geyser in custody right now. And so when it comes to her next court date, the district attorney tells us that that all depends on if DHS is going to file a petition to revoke her conditional release. And then if that happens, there would be a hearing in 30 days. So again, the extradition hearing was very brief today, but of course this comes from a much bigger story, and how we got here all started really over the weekend.
And many of us got that push alert on our phones if you follow Fox Local and FOX6Now.com that Morgan Geyser had escaped. She cut off her GPS bracelet, her
Yeah, she did. And I think one of the biggest developments, if you haven't seen it, go to our Fox Local page where you can watch the full body camera video where, so on Sunday we were alerted that Morgan Geyser cut off her ankle monitor, and she was missing for several hours. And then it wasn't until Monday that she was found Sunday night, but then on Monday we learned more where she was found in Posen, Illinois, and we have the full body camera posted of her interaction with police there. At first she gave police a fake name, and then if you watch it, it shows her hesitation to tell police who she was, saying that she did something bad, and ultimately ended up giving police her real name, Morgan Geyser, and then she was arrested. So I would definitely go there to watch the full video. We have it posted just in how we got to Cook County with her extradition hearing today.
Okay, and what is the update on the man that she was found with?
Yeah, so that's 43-year-old Chad Mecca, and he was given he was arrested as well, then given a citation, and he has since been released. His next court date will be here in Chicago on January 15th.
All right, Christina Van Zelst, we look forward to your story on Fox 6 News at 4. Thanks for taking the time out of your day and joining us on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you, Kim. Good to see you.
See ya. And so that is it. Morgan Geyser, the extradition hearing did happen in Chicago and Cook County. Morgan Geyser is now on her way to Waukesha County to find out what the consequences will be for that escape. She escaped from a group home, the group home where she was residing over the weekend, accompanied by a 43-year-old man, Chad Mecca, as you heard from Christina. He was given a citation for his involvement, but the consequences for Geyser could be a lot more serious. This is in violation of the conditions of her release to that Madison group home, so we don't know what is next for her and if her attorney will again represent her in this case. The attorney that has been with her since the very beginning of this case pled with her over the weekend to turn herself in. She was found at a truck stop over the weekend, Sunday, about 24 hours after she disappeared from that group home. This is the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're going to take a quick break and check to see if there's anything going on in America right now. We'll be back right after this.
Desk.
Some folks are already getting ready for the holidays, and we're not talking about Thanksgiving, we're talking about Christmas. This is a live look at New York City. I actually saw someone with a Christmas tree, a live tree, strapped on the top of their rooftop of their car. Some folks, it's a tradition, they usually do it, well, I wouldn't say usually, but a lot of folks do it Thanksgiving night or the day after Black Friday, but some folks are starting even earlier. And so what about the travel forecast? What can you expect if you are flying out, or you're just curious about what is happening? Well, the good news is the flight restrictions that were in place because of the government shutdown, those have been lifted. So that should be good news if you're expecting anyone who is flying in or out. Maybe some of your college students are headed your way. There are 360,000 flights scheduled between Monday, yesterday, and next Tuesday. And that's more than 17.8 million people who will be screened at airports. So do pack your patience, as they say. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, at a news conference on Monday, said that the air traffic controller staffing levels, they're stable for the first time in days. And so that is some good news. Again, if you are headed to the airport to pick someone up. What about the roads? 1.3 million people, according to AAA, are going to be hitting the roads. 1.3 million more travelers, I should say, are going to be hitting the roads than last year, pushing the total number of people on the roads in a car to at least 73 million people. And 5 people that I know who are going to be on the road, they belong to the same family. Our producer, Delaney. How does it feel to be a number? You're going to be 5 people of 73 million people on the road.
I know, that's so crazy how many people will be traveling.
Okay, I'm just curious. I mean, it sounds fun, you know, a way for your family to bond. You know, you guys are all adults now. Are you going to take turns driving, or what's the schedule?
We'll probably take turns.
Okay.
I don't know
I'm
how much
asking
I'll
a lot
drive.
of questions.
My parents' car's like a gigantic SUV.
Okay.
And I don't love driving that.
Okay.
So I'll probably steer clear from driving, but my siblings will drive for sure.
If you have to take it for the team and be in the middle, the least they can do is give you a break, and so that you don't have to drive.
Exactly.
Okay. Delaney, are we waiting? A hearing is happening right now for, he's called the dating app predator, and Timothy Olson. I know that we're checking to find out if we can listen in. Are we also wondering if we can take the picture, or can I talk over the picture?
I know we can't listen in, but let me see if we can take the picture.
Okay. And as we're waiting on that, I'm going to take you back to a lovely New York City, getting ready for the sights and the sounds of the Christmas season. And as this is happening, a winter weather advisory is going to affect a lot of the holiday travel. Thanksgiving week, major airports and highways could be affected by bad weather, including snow, ice, and rain. We know around here it's going to get very cold. It's 50 degrees right now in southeastern Wisconsin. We're talking about a high possibly of only 30 degrees, so it's going to be very, very frigid. Forecasters say that rain is expected in the Pacific Northwest and the eastern U.S. airports, also Chicago, New York, Philly, Seattle, Washington. Basically from coast to coast, you're going to have some kind of weather that is going to no doubt impact your travel. Even if you're going, let's just say, south to Chicago to visit the in-laws, or maybe the in-laws are coming your way, be sure to download the FOX6 weather app. That will keep you up to date on the weather as it changes, and it's also going to be very, very windy. So be aware of that if you are doing any kind of traveling. And we are just trying to get some clarification from our newsroom if we're able to dip into a hearing that is happening right now in Milwaukee County. Involving a Racine man accused of victimizing women and kidnapping an elderly woman, facing charges, and we're waiting to find out what exactly is going on in this proceeding right now, and whether or not the judge has allowed us. We know that we're able to be in the court, and we'll have the story on the news at 4, but we're not sure if we can actually take it live, as we say, as it is happening. And we're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. The Wisconsin Live Desk, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and some people are uber prepared. They've already done all of their shopping. They have everything they need. They just now have to cook. Other people, they're just starting from square one. They're actually having to go to the grocery store, pick up the turkey, pick up the fixings, and all of that jazz. Well, how much is that going to cost? Are you better off having waited? Are there sales even on food this time of year? Well, for that, we're going to go to Oliviana Calmes, who is in St. Louis. Happy pre-Thanksgiving, Oliviana.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, Thanksgiving is always a little bit of a stressful time of what's going to cost the most and what's going to be on sale. Thankfully, there are some things that have lowered in price this year, including turkeys that you would buy at the supermarket. They're down 16% this year and a couple other parts of the Thanksgiving meal, but some are still up. I spoke with a farmer who has a market behind me here just earlier today. He said that his fresh turkeys are still costing a good amount. He's having to charge more because of the food, but overall turkeys are still lower this year, and that's a 16-pound turkey that averages about $21.50 this year overall compared to the last 2 years. A 10-person family feast is down a little bit, and what's interesting is people are deciding to do Thanksgiving simpler this year. Thankfully that they are, because a lot of stores are doing retail discounts that are going to help people out. So you got to just kind of look at what stores have the best deals. People are trying to bundle. Companies are trying to bundle things for you too.
I've seen that, and I'm a single person, so a household of one. That's what gets me is the bundles. I don't need two, you know, containers of butter, tubs of butter, but that's how I get the discount. And so I'm just going to have to freeze some things to get that cheaper price.
Yeah, well, you know, you can use, they all say you can use turkey meat for a long time, but there are people that are choosing to do a different kind of meat this year for sure. They need to make bundles that are in different quantities, not just for the 10-person Friendsgiving or Thanksgiving. They should make a smaller one. I would be down with that for sure.
Are you able to get home for Thanksgiving? What are your plans?
I am. I'm going to see grandparents, and usually I'm in charge of the mashed potatoes. There's different ways people like to make those. You know, it can be controversial in a way, but I like to have that with a little bit of cheese. Of course, lots of butter. So that's my dish. You can't really do it wrong. So
You can't do it wrong. And I'm a potato girl too, love potatoes. So do you wait until you get to the grandparents' house and then you help in the kitchen, or do you bring it prepared?
You know, I can't imagine mashed potatoes would do well on a flight. And
oh, that's true.
Flying.
Yes.
So hopefully the traveling will be okay. That's another big thing we're talking about in these next couple of days. But yeah, my grandma usually buys a bag of potatoes for me ready to go, and we'll serve it up there. You know, there's different ways, a lot of different tan foods that you eat at Thanksgiving, and really all of them are good.
Yeah. So what are your flight plans? Are you worried about, we're talking about bad weather in a lot of parts of the country, snow, some rain. Are you concerned about that? Is your airport, you know, in the path of any of that?
Well, Kim, as you may know, working on holidays is very, very common in the news industry.
Mm-hmm.
I have Thanksgiving off, so I plan to fly that morning, which a lot of people don't want to do the day of a holiday. But if we're looking at delays and a lot of people stuck in the airports the night before, that might change my plans day up. So all I can do is keep checking my app, make sure I'm there ready and early, and hope and pray for the best as well.
Oliviana, thanks for stopping by with some good news that prices, at least for that turkey, may be able to save a few cents and maybe splurge on something else like the desserts. Oliviana Calmes, thank you so much. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
So there, everything isn't going up. You do have some things that are a little bit cheaper. The turkey. So if you still have not purchased your Thanksgiving turkey, even if it's a small one, you got to have a turkey on the table, right? It sets everything off. So that is what we are looking forward to, is that it's not going to cost as much as it did before. I'm kind of cheating as I'm looking at what the weather folks are working on. Their winter headlines, you can see that there's an advisory. Parts of Wisconsin, we're talking about Sheboygan, West Bend, Fond du Lac, Watertown, those are under areas are under a storm watch. Around here, we can expect it to be very, very cold Thanksgiving. So the weather, this is the best. And from here, it goes downhill. So if you still are a purist and on Black Friday or even Thanksgiving evening, I should say, and you plan on going out, it's going to be cold. And one of the popular things to do is to get the Lakefront Brewery, their Thanksgiving beers that they offer. Some folks start staking out the brewery Thanksgiving night. They have their dinner, they say goodbye to their families, and they go and they meet old friends so that they can get that brew for the year. Every year it's something different. The can is uniquely designed for that year. There's usually 4 different beers that are released for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to do some checking on that. We're going to take a break and see what else is going on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
I find some of my best conversations are those that I have alone, which I was just having. I thought that we were live. We weren't. I didn't hit go live. So I was just telling you about what was happening. First of all, football-wise, the Packers are playing at noon in Detroit against the Lions. Pregame for Fox starts at 10 a.m. and just stick with us the entire day because we've got a special edition of FOX6 News after the game. So I was telling you about that. I was so excited about that, and I was breaking down the X's and O's. It was phenomenal. Sorry that you missed that part of it. No time, so we have to continue on. I want to tell you now also about a tradition that is local, Black Friday. It's happening 11/28/2025, Lakefront Brewery. They are releasing their favorites, or special beers, I should say, every year. It's something different. This year they're doing an Imperial Stout, aged in bourbon barrels. They've got a triple black IPA, they've got a black wheat wine ale, and they've got an Imperial coffee cacao stout. There was something else in there, but you get the idea. And so these are limited. The cans are special. They design the cans so they either, I don't know if you drink them or you just collect them or you gift them, but it's a really big deal around here. And some folks, they start lining up Thanksgiving evening after dinner. They go down to the brewery, Lakefront Brewery. They meet folks because it's become a tradition where other traditions have kind of like faded, the Black Friday shopping and so on and so forth. The Black Friday release of the beers at Lakefront is something that is big and has continued over the years. So there's 4 varieties of the Black Friday beer. They'll be available, no limit. They say come for the beer, share the conversation. It's just about having a good time. And so they've got these special beers, and there's a wheat wine ale, a triple black IPA, a coffee and cacao nib stout, and it's just for Black Friday. So for a 3rd year in a row, they say that they are also taking part in a coat drive from 7 a.m. until noon. So in exchange for a donation of a laundered, gently used coat suitable for a child ages 3 to 14 years old, you will get 1 bottle or can of a vintage Black Friday beer with a maximum of 2 bottles or cans per donor over the age of 21. So do something good this Black Friday, you know, fun and good. So that is what's going on Black Friday. Let's see, what else can I tell you about? I'm gonna pop in with Delaney. Delaney, any of those weather experts back in the office?
Yeah, Steph's getting mic'd up, and then she'll let me know when she's ready to go.
Okay. As I'm kind of, again, taking a look at some of the graphics that she's working on, some folks are headed west. They're maybe going to Minnesota or Sioux Falls. You can see that we've got some advisories, some snow, wind is going to be the story for those folks, but also for us. So as soon as we are able to check in with Steph, we will, to let you know what is going on there. Second hour of the Wisconsin Live Desk, we heard from the mayor, Cavalier Johnson, signaling that there has been some progress, some good news. Finally, that police contract has been, it's signed, sealed, it's delivered. So our Milwaukee police officers are going to get that raise that they have been fighting for a very, very long time. There's also some drama now with the fire department. We have heard for the past couple of weeks, the fire chief, Aaron Lipsky, saying that the department is in desperate need of new equipment. The equipment is unsafe, and that he refuses to risk the safety of his firefighters by sitting them out on engines and ladders that are unsafe, that they are breaking down. Well, the mayor's budget did recognize the need for money to go to the fire department, but it was not at the level that was requested. Well, the Common Council has now vetoed the mayor's budget and is requesting, or is moving ahead to fund fully the police department, or excuse me, the fire department's request. So we're going to check in on that and have a little bit more on where that stands and when that money becomes available, or if there's another wrinkle in this plan. But it's tough all over. We've seen other fire departments around southeastern Wisconsin move to consolidate their fire departments for the very same reasons, that they cannot operate at the levels that they need to because budgets just aren't where they were. And so by consolidating, some of these communities are finding that that is the way to go forward. But Milwaukee, of course, is a very big fire department. Not sure if that would be an option, and it's not one that certainly has been talked about. So I am going to now hop over to Stephanie. And Stephanie, let's see if I can bring your mic up. What's up?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Kim. There's a lot going on in the weather department.
I see that. I was kind of peeking as you were making some of your maps, and I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's under some kind of advisory or
Right.
something. So take it away. What's going on?
Yeah, so we're quiet out there right now. It's been a little drizzly, a little foggy, but you could walk outside without a coat right now. Where it's sitting at 50 degrees. It feels nice, especially with the calm wind. All of this changes later on tonight and into tomorrow. So first and foremost, Kim, this is the newest information from the National Weather Service. Came out maybe about 20-30 minutes ago. Winter weather advisory for Fond du Lac, Sheboygan, Dodge, Washington, Ozaukee counties. That is for tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. as we are expecting to see light snow all across southeast Wisconsin, but some more accumulation expected in some of these northernmost communities. I'd say at least an inch or two in these spots within the advisory, maybe 3 inches at the highest range, but honestly, I think the biggest factor for tomorrow, and not just in the advisory criteria or in the advisory area, it's going to be the fact that the wind is going to be very strong. So that wind to snow combo really could lead to very low visibility. Keep that in mind if you're traveling on Wednesday. We all will have the wind advisory for all of southeast Wisconsin, same time frame here, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's for sustained wind speeds at least 30 miles per hour and gusts up to about 50 miles per hour, if not even a little higher than that. So you can see heading into the day tomorrow how these gusts will likely be a good 45 to 50 mile per hour all across southeast Wisconsin. So we are all going to see a very strong wind on Wednesday. Most of the mess is still out towards the west. And notice, Minneapolis down into southern Minnesota, there is still some rain with this storm system. We're going to see a steadier batch of rain move in later on tonight through southeast Wisconsin. That'll signify the cold front moving through. That'll drop our temperatures. We'll get a little bit of a dry break like you can see right here. And then off and on throughout Wednesday, we'll get in on some light snow. Now, I do think it's going to start off as more of a slushy snowfall, but later on into the afternoon and evening, as temperatures potentially drop even more, it could become just a little bit more powdery. Regardless, I do think the low visibility factor combined with that wind might be something, absolutely might be a hazard that we have to deal with throughout the day tomorrow. Now, just quickly going through, the time frame here. Still some dry time this evening. I think closer to 9 or 10 o'clock, we'll get that steadier batch of rain. Then notice how the wind really starts to ramp up. Colder air filters in behind that frontal boundary. And starting tomorrow morning, we'll just be dealing with some of these pockets of light snow. Look at these sustained winds. That's 30 to 35 miles per hour at least. So all the way through about 7 or 8 p.m. Wednesday, we'll have the chance for some of this light snow. Again, even in the Milwaukee area, maybe a little bit of accumulation on grassy surfaces, but the better chance for an inch or so is going to be across the northern half of our viewing area. Now, the good news is that Turkey Day is looking dry. However, it is going to stay pretty cold. Here's another preview of those potential snowfall totals for you here. North of Milwaukee has the better chance to see about 1 to 3 inches. And now the farther north you go into Wisconsin, that's where you are going to encounter higher snowfall totals. So Kim, if Wednesday is your travel day, just make sure you know what you're heading into, especially north of our viewing area and across far northern Wisconsin. There really could be some significant snowfall totals in far northern parts of our state, as well as into northern Minnesota. Even the Twin Cities expecting maybe 4 or 5 inches worth of snowfall. So I know that's a holiday destination for a lot of people. Just check your road conditions before you head out tomorrow. Tune into your local news, whether it's here or out west or up north. Make sure you know what's going on in the area. Here locally, it really will be that lower visibility that I think will be our biggest issue.
Steph, are you traveling?
Just to Waukesha, not far. So I think I personally will be fine. It'll probably tack on at least an extra, 10 minutes or so. But I do know a lot of people going to the Twin Cities. So I checked in with them earlier today just to make sure they knew that snow was on the way.
Wow. Again, because it's so nice out there now. It's 50 degrees. It's just going to be such a smack in the face.
And that's the other thing, I didn't even really talk about it, but temperatures tomorrow are going to be in the 30s, but because of the wind, chills are going to be in the teens. And now for anyone doing their Thanksgiving morning run, those turkey trots, wind chills, Kim, single digits, and not much better by Thanksgiving afternoon. So we really are going from, we'll call 50 an extreme to another extreme with feel like temperatures. It feels like 50 out there right now. We're going to feel like teens tomorrow afternoon. So it is, I think, going to be felt all across the state.
So big question, your inflatables, are they out? Are you going to hold off?
The turkey is still out. We will make sure it's not blown up tomorrow. We'll keep it deflated.
Gonna bring the turkey inside to take a little breather. All right, Steph Barrichello, thanks so much.
No problem.
Yep. So there you have it. If you are traveling, it's probably going to be a little bit of an issue, the weather, whether it be the temperatures or some of the precipitation that we are expecting. To that end, let's remind you that we are still in our Coats for Kids. It goes for a little bit longer, December 7th, so we've got like maybe a week or so to go collecting coats for kids. We still need your help. There are thousands of kids across Milwaukee who do not have adequate winter wear. And so if you have coats that are gently used, and don't just think about the littles, older kids also are in need of coats. When we had the Salvation Army in our studios for our coat telethon, we learned that they even provided a coat, a 3X for a child, and it took some doing. They had to find a coat, a 3X, but children come in all sizes, and the need is all sizes. So if you have a coat, please consider donating that. You can also use that QR code there to scan and donate money, and that will be used to buy coats for kids. You can donate coats that you have at Steinhoffel's, Landmark, AbsorbTech, or the Salvation Army. Again, that all goes through December 7th. You're watching the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're going to take a quick break.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
And don't forget, Coats for Kids is still going on now through December 7th. Please consider donating a coat. As we leave you, we've got about 90 seconds left on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Our big story, Morgan Geyser appeared in a Cook County court this afternoon to be extradited back to Wisconsin. This is after she escaped from her group home over the weekend in Madison. She was with an older man. That man was given citations for his part in it, but Morgan Geyser was arrested after leaving her group home, which is in violation of her conditional release. Police found her and that man sleeping behind a truck stop in a town called Posen, which is not far from Chicago. And so what is next for her, that remains to be seen. But we know that she is headed back to Waukesha, where she will find out the punishment for cutting off her GPS bracelet and leaving her group home, which were the conditions for her release. So join us for Fox 6 News at 4, 5, and 6, and we'll have much more on that. Also, it's going to be very cold over the next couple of days. Stephanie's working on her graphics. I'm cheating. On Wednesday, tomorrow, 38 degrees are high temperatures. It's going to feel more like 17 degrees. That's just a little peak. You'll want to stay with us to find out more about that. And Black Friday, it'll be here before you know it. And one of the best things about it, Lakefront Brewery, they have their special Black Friday beers that will be released. See you there. Have a great afternoon.
And this is the Fox 6 Sports Blitz. We'll be leading off with a victory by the Green Bay Packers that keeps them in second place in the NFC North Division. Hey there, Tim Van Voren, Brandon Cruz, Lily Zoud. Appreciate your company tonight. Here's what's coming up. Our starting lineup. The Packers do vanquish the Vikings. A dominating defense carries a safe and smart day. The Badgers prompt their fans to storm the field for the second time this season. Who saw that coming? A confident cornerback makes us say what as he anticipates a holiday homecoming. Bucks are not moving forward in the absence of their star forward. And our latest high school hotshot leans into the heritage of her institution.
When you look at the game in terms of all three phases contributed to that win, it's never easy going against a division rival and a team that has beat us twice in a row at Lambeau, so that felt really good.
Matt LaFleur just kind of relaxed today afterwards. You know, not too much grief out there, not too many penalty flags, not too many reviews, not too many game situations to deal with, management situations. He actually sat around in the media availability room there and watched the end of the Lions game on TV. So it was a different type of atmosphere in Green Bay today than we've seen with some toxic situations over the last few weeks in Green Bay. Jordan Love had something to do with that, Brandon. You were up there with me today in Green Bay. Love coming into the game off that shoulder injury last week. He didn't visibly look that affected, but it changed his game.
Yeah, they protected him, and they ran the ball a lot, and he handed the ball off with his right hand. So he was doing the little things to make sure he wasn't aggravating that left shoulder. And when he was throwing, he was very accurate. I mean, that might have been really the only real hit he took. He didn't get touched very much at all today. And one of the things they were able to do was kind of just put them in a position to manage the game. I mean, because the defense had put them in a great position on the field, they just ran the ball with Emmanuel Wilson. He was able to get to his receivers and find guys or run for a first down out of bounds and not take a hit. Yeah, I mean, it was a game that he managed, and he managed it well.
He did manage it well, and as Brandon talked about, Lily, when he did hand it off with that right hand, he often went to Emmanuel Wilson, who got the call in place of Josh Jacobs for the full boat today and answered the bell.
He really did. I mean, this is a guy that's waited for his chance, and he certainly took the opportunity and literally ran with it. 28 carries for Emmanuel Wilson, a career high 107 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns for him. But he's a guy who's patient, right? He waits for holes to open up in the offensive line. Great vision from Emmanuel Wilson. Great vision, great cutting. It's just nice to watch the second effort there as well. So Emmanuel Wilson, 2 touchdowns on the day in place of Josh Jacobs, and the offense didn't really have to do much outside of that. You hand the ball off to Emmanuel Wilson, he goes up the gut, goes right, goes left, gets you a first down. That's all you can ask for.
Josh Jacobs is as tough as they come, as strong a runner as they come. Wilson's a little more shimmy maybe to him, though, than Jacobs. I personally had no complaints whatsoever with the game plan today. It was conservative. They're going for field goals. You know what? You're playing again on Thursday. Lily, I didn't have any issue with this at all. Sometimes with the Packers and Matt LaFleur's play calling, I think you can say you do. But in this game, when the Vikings didn't give you any threat, why not do that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you run the football. That's a good thing because you get your defense, you keep them fresh. There were long drives by this Packers offense. That did result in a field goal, but you keep your defense fresh. You tire out the Vikings defense. They weren't doing anything really to threaten them. And also, Jordan Love nursing that left shoulder injury. Guys are banged up. It's a short week. You're playing the Lions. They can score a lot of points. Are they saving anything potentially for that Detroit game? A lot kind of going into this, but I have no issue whatsoever with this offensive attack either. And that's just, they were smart with the football. They didn't turn things over. They relied on their defense, and that was a winning game plan today.
Yeah, put the hay in the barn. And part of that was, as I said, Brandon, because the Vikings offense couldn't muster much of anything here, and the Packers defense had a lot to do with it. We got to see that Packer defense really attacking a quarterback for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, they had 5 sacks, and they were getting through the offensive line of the Vikings. It seemed like almost every time that J.J. McCarthy was going to throw the ball, and the second he saw a green jersey in front of him, he would kind of panic. He would try to get rid of the ball, and that created mistakes, or he was just way off on his targets. He was not very accurate at all, and that was mainly due to the Packers' pressure. And it was something that we've been waiting for if you're a Packers fan, because you've been trying to see how this pass rush could affect the rest of the game and create turnovers. And by getting into that backfield, all of a sudden McCarthy's throwing bad passes, he throws some picks, and the Packers take advantage that way as well.
Micah Parsons was expansive on the topic after the game, saying, we finally got to be pass rushers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a video game. The other team has to give you the opportunity. Everybody wants to put up big numbers. Parsons certainly most notably about that. He's been quiet in a lot of games, right? He's been effective but quiet. Now he's still up over 10 sacks for another season, so he is getting something done. And as you said, he was helping force the ball into vulnerable spots for the Vikings, and the Packers were there to pick it off.
Yeah.
McDuffie and Williams.
Yeah, and the thing to remember, and I think it was kind of the momentum maybe started last week. They had 4 opportunities for interceptions right through the hands or drops by the defensive backs. And today, when those opportunities arose, they didn't drop the ball. It didn't go through their hands. In fact, there's Isaiah McDuffie making his first interception, and then later in the game, it's Evan Williams. It's a ball thrown right to him, and he held on to it. And that is what this team has been looking for. They haven't had many interceptions. They haven't been able to disrupt a passing game because so many teams have just run the ball against the Packers or gotten rid of it so quickly the pass rush didn't matter. Today, that was different. J.J. McCarthy just was confused back there, and watch his feet. His footwork is not good, and it ends up also leaving the ball that floated right into Williams' hands.
They did work on the jugs machine this week, try to catch those balls after that game last week when they did not. And a little Michigan crime there. Rashawn Gary against J.J. McCarthy. I don't know if it was a fumble. I don't know if it was an interception. It was a great play by Isaiah McDuffie to kind of pluck it out of the air. And on the Evan Williams interception there, Lily, then we saw a nice celebration afterwards. Evan Williams said that it was Javon Bullard who first suggested it, and the guys were so impressed that the crowd got into it so quickly.
Yeah, they did one rep, and the fans said, yeah, why not? I mean, listen, this is not the first time that opposing teams have kind of done, Viking celebrations. The Bears did the gritty after they beat Minnesota. The Packers joined in there with the Skull Chant celebration. The Packers fans joining in. I mean, what a scene right there, guys. That really encapsulated the game for how well it went for Green Bay.
And just some levity in the situation today, which we haven't seen in that many Packers games this season, especially recently. We haven't talked about maybe the play of the game, Brandon. I know you looked into this on one of the sportscasts earlier tonight. A special teams turnaround. The Packers stumbled offensively. They're going to have to punt the ball away, and suddenly they get the ball back inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Daniel Whelan has been phenomenal, and he was again today. And this punt inside the 10, and what you see is Zane Anderson pushing the receiver right into it, and then, all of a sudden, Miles Price is like, uh-oh, I just basically fumbled. It's a muff punt. Packers recovered there at the 5. 2 plays later, they put it into the end zone. It was a 10-6 game at this point, and they were going backwards on that drive. On 3 consecutive plays, they lost yardage. So here's a punt. It doesn't feel like anything's working to start the third quarter. All of a sudden this happens, and from there on the Packers cruised, and I want to say that was the momentum swing, and that was something that just changed the whole outlook of this game. And Daniel Whelan, to me, was an MVP in this one because of when he was called upon, he delivered every single time.
He likes to be known as a weapon, and he is that in the punting game. Zane Anderson's a guy who doesn't get too many snaps, Lily, but he shows you that you can have value in any role on a team.
That's why you stick on the roster, right? You fight to get a spot on the roster, you make the most of your opportunities.
All right, Green Bay's run defense was a part of this as well. They tried to do a better job of that last week against the Giants, still coming off a couple of those games where they're licking their wounds and kind of bruising their pride. You do this, it sets the tone for your entire defensive effort.
Yeah, and that's what's important, right? I mean, opposing teams know they can run on Green Bay, and they, the Vikings, to their credit, between Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, were finding success on the ground, and
particularly early.
Especially early, but then they found ways to bottle up the gaps and stop them. A big, impressive 3rd and 1 stop, which led to a 4th and 1 stop for the Packers defense. And from there, they really found their footing in the run game, and it helps when your offense just kind of give you a big enough lead where you do have to pass the football than run the football. But listen, they have a big test ahead with the Detroit Lions and Jahmyr Gibbs, who just rumbled for over 200 yards. So that's going to be a massive test this week for the Green Bay's run defense.
All right, let's set the stage for that. Look at the standings first and foremost. You can see the Bears still on the top. I'm not sure anybody really believes in the Bears, but they're up there. Give them credit. 8 wins. That's a big jump for Chicago. Packers right there. Lions right behind them. Thanksgiving in Detroit with a lot on the line, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to have to see if that run defense can really shore up those gaps. As you mentioned, Jahmyr Gibbs had a huge game today. He could be the best running back in all of football, and he is so dangerous because he can catch the ball. He takes the ball and changes the dynamic for their offense. And so to me, when you look at what he can do, all of a sudden, if he gets runs like this, then that passing game opens up and all kinds of different things happen.
Lily, before we get off this build up to this game, week 1 was all Green Bay. Is there any carryover from that game to this?
Pressure Jared Goff, and that will do wonders. Maybe stop the run too, but get in Jared Goff's face. That will make him very uneasy.
That was certainly the story in week 1 when we saw it, and everybody was all of a sudden, hey, here are the Packers and the Lions without their coordinators. What's going to happen? All that stuff. Here we are in Thanksgiving, and those two teams are both back at the top of the division or near it. So should be fun. All right, a little more football before we hit the break, and it is Badger football. Yeah, there have been weeks we haven't even talked about the Badgers, but this week you have to do it again. They have picked up another victory, taking on the Fighting Illini. They get Brett Bielema and the ranked Illini. The fans are out there storming it 27-10. I don't know that you storm it, but the press release from the school today was after another big win. I'm thinking, how long have they been saving that one this year?
Hey, but at least they're having fun on Senior Day, right?
There you go. Absolutely. Last home game of the season right there. All right, we're coming back with more on the Fox 6 Sports Blitz.
What is it when you're the lead of the parade? What do they call you?
Isthmus. Antsiness or whatever the word is.
I never knew that. You learn something new every day.
Oh, man, I was the best. Growing up, all of us was the best in our own, wherever we was at. But, yeah, I was real good, man. I I had the long hair too, so I was that guy.
Ypsilanti native Kamal Haddon saying Ford Field's his home. He was a star.
Going home this week.
Packers are hoping he's a star on Thursday when they're there. Speaking of stars, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We haven't seen him on the court in a while. He leaves Monday with a groin injury. Is this a concern because of the injury? Not necessarily for how it affects the team is what I'm asking you, but for an injury concern with his health in this season?
I think it has to be. We've seen lingering groin injuries in various sports before. You've seen other injuries that linger. The Bucks can't afford to have a situation that lingers with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know that's another angle you'll take here, Brandon, but for his individual health, I'd say yes. It's just one of those things, like a high ankle sprain, strain a leak. Those things can hang around for a while.
They think 1 to 2 weeks. Probably it sounds like more like 2. It's almost been a week. Lily, this team, when he's on the court, the best offense in the NBA. When he's not there, the worst. How do they change that? Because they do have to play without him in this coming week.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you've seen what it's been like this week without Giannis Antetokounmpo. They've lost 4 straight without him. And it's just been tough. I mean, they have, struggled to score. They've struggled to defend. And when you can't do either of those things, you're going to lose games. And unfortunately, they're coming off, a loss to the red-hot Detroit Pistons, who lead right now. And it's just kind of a tough week for the Bucks. Can they rebound? I think they can, but they have to have other guys step up behind Ryan Rollins to really make a run here. But listen, it's still early in the season. No worry yet, but they have to turn things around here quickly.
Yeah, Detroit's won 12 in a row. That snapped a 13-game win streak by the Bucks over the Pistons last night. So let's shift to college now. Marquette. Kind of an up and down week. They do come back and beat Central Michigan, but that game was close all the way until the end. I mean, it was a one-score game late in the second half.
Very much a work in progress this season for Marquette. I think most people thought it would be that way. It's been maybe more of that than anticipated. You have some players who just haven't had a lot of college experience, so they're still trying to find their role. Shaka Smart trying to plug the right guys in the right spots, and you have some size deficiencies on the inside in terms of experience size and productive size in there. So Marquette's going to play hard. They have a lot of talent on the roster. It's just a matter of figuring out who can pair up with Chase Ross and get the ball in the basket here.
Yeah, and who is that, Louis? It's kind of like the Bucks. If Giannis is out there, it's fine. The number 2 guy isn't as important, but there is an importance to have a number 2 or 3 guy to back up Chase Ross. Who is it?
That's a good question. I mean, you lose when you look at last year, right? You had those answers in scorers like Stevie Mitchell and David Joplin and Cam Jones, but now it is who is it behind Chase Ross? I mean, I like to see Ben Gold get going on the offensive end there, and we know he can sink the 3. He's a big man in the middle, so I'd like to see him get going. But I think you need some of these, guys who've been on the roster for a little bit with this team to step up big, because like Tim said, it is a work in progress early on for Marquette, but you can't let things slip away, especially when you did not really play that well with your non-conference slate.
So that win gets them above 500. They don't play until Friday, so they get a little time to try to figure things out, but it still seems like a lot of questions for Shaka Smart, more than answers at this point. Well, get this. It's a big woo for the Brewers in 2026. That's because Brandon Woodruff has accepted the team's qualifying offer. He will be back on the mound next season. And also, Jake Bowers will be back next year. He avoids arbitration as he agrees to a 1-year deal with the team. The team also tendering offers to all arbitration-eligible players. So that is good news in many ways for the Brewers as they are in this offseason looking to build their squad for the 2026 season. Coming up, our high school hotshot. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. She helped anchor a team vying to make school history, and they finished the season on a 23-match win streak to make that happen. Here's this week's Fox 6 High School Hot.